I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder. I'm proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder. I'm proud to be in whatever sitch, like singing on Twitch or playing D&D. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder. You may call me obsessive, but I just border on being a collector and being a dragon that sits atop my treasure. That's so shiny. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder. And my partners love me for it. I'm a natural 20 when it comes to being me. I'm a time traveler, so Alonzi. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder, and proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder, and proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder. I'm proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder. I'm proud to be in whatever sitch, like singing on Twitch or playing D&D. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder. You may call me obsessive, but I just border on being a collector and being a dragon that sits atop my treasure. That's so shiny. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder. And my partners love me for it. I'm a natural 20 when it comes to being me. I'm a time traveler, so Alonzi. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder, and proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder, and proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie.
Come out, wherever you are. And now I have the song from Wizard of Oz stuck in my head. That's how my brain works.
It's okay. I keep getting these songs from these stupid Cinderella story movies stuck in my head.
Ooh.
Oh.
And then I have to watch
I
the
am
Cinderella story. No, the thing is, like, they're dumb and they're stupid, but I kind of enjoy their stupidness.
Oh no, there's definitely movies like that. And now I'm like,
not so much the song being stuck in my head, but the movies I at least like get some enjoyment out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're dumb. They're brainless.
Yeah.
Am I missing a D20? Oh no, I'm dumb. It was sitting there. I just didn't recognize it. I'm dumb. I was like, I don't see this. It's already out.
I'm so happy. My favorite local coffee shop has my favorite seasonal syrup right now.
Is that the place we went to?
Yeah, Sugar and Twine.
Yeah, they had. I don't know. I would need to try more of their coffee, and I feel like I would need to have it hot because I don't really enjoy straight up flavored coffee with like syrup flavors when it's iced. I prefer iced like lattes and things because
Mhm.
So it was like, I feel like I did not get the enjoyment out of it that I was hoping for. So when it's cold, we have to go again.
You come down when it's cooler out. Well,
Hey! Now, of course, it's going to roll terrible the rest of the night, but like my Leah die, like the one that I bought as a single D20 because it's purple colored, rolled an at 20 on my test roll where I took all of my D20s and dumped them. Normally, this one rolls like crap. So
hey, shooting your holdings, how you doing?
We'll
Sorry,
see how
talking
it
to chat.
Fine.
Fine.
Has anyone heard anything from Kristen?
No, I mean I haven't been online all day really,
Okay.
so I don't
like
know.
she was
But
on earlier today, but yeah, may want to.
Yeah, I'm just gonna ping her. You
Real
alive?
quick.
Alright, we're gonna leave this one out because this is her armor one. This one usually rolls well for me. That's why it's weird. Okay, they both rolled 12s. That's funny. Okay, now it's an 18 and a 20, so maybe we'll keep you guys out. Oh, and let's see how the big one is rolling. Okay.
We got KFC for dinner because no one wanted to cook.
That's
Fair.
I have not had KFC in
And
forever.
it's my parents' anniversary, so we're like, nope.
Oh, it is! Crap! I failed. Literally all week I've been like trying to remember if it was the 27th or the 28th, and then today didn't even think about it. Whoops.
I'll just text mom.
Yes. I texted him last year, but I was like a day early or something, or 2 days early. I think it was the 25th, and mom was like, thanks. You're 2 days early, but thanks.
Yeah.
I was like, dang it.
Nice job.
You know,
You tried.
that counts.
I don't know why you guys are tagging me. I'm right here.
You were not in here
Oh,
until
hi.
just now.
Hi.
now.
Now John's doing it just to be done.
Damn it!
Is there music playing?
Is there? Oh, I have it muted,
little
I
bit.
think, then.
Little
Is
bit.
it on
Okay.
Roll20?
Oh, I hear it.
It's roll 20
Yeah.
music.
Yeah, so then
Oh,
There it
we
is.
go.
I forget when. There was some time that okay, now it's not playing, but there was some time that I muted it for some reason, and I forget why.
I'm
Possibly.
gonna just get all my D8s out right now.
There you go. Yeah.
Preemptively get your D8 out.
Oh, come
Epic.
on, Roll20. Roll20 is
There
freezing
shall
on
be
me, son.
Smites.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Oh, I should probably get out some D8s too, maybe.
Yep.
I'm good.
Yeah, I have not figured out like specific smite dice. Like I have my moonbeam dice that I always roll the same 2 die because
Yeah.
they are sparkly and they consistently roll pretty well.
I think the only
But-
die I have that's for like a specific like ability or whatever is I got a specific D8 for my paladin's bag of tricks.
Oh, nice.
I found a gray like at the one game shop here in town. It has,
One-Eyed
like,
Jack's?
One-Eyed Jack's has like a thing of like random dice for like 50 cents. Or
That's
whatever.
where I got my Leah die. The
But they
D20.
had like a silvery gray D8, and I was like, I'm gonna get that because my paladin has a gray bag of tricks.
There you go.
Nice. Yeah, well, that's why I'm like, I have.
dice for this.
Tay has a bag of tricks that she never uses.
Tay has a lot of things. OC is like the definition of a DM who gives their party more things than they can possibly hope to ever attune to, which is fun.
Yeah.
But then it ends up with my cleric being like, I have like 12 random items here, but the funny thing is half of her items don't require attunement. So like she is currently wearing a Cape of the Mount back and a useful robe under that Cape of the Mount back because
Layers upon
Yeah.
layers.
yes,
Yeah.
because neither of them
Multiple
require
t-shirts.
attunement. She also has a bag of tricks that doesn't require attunement. So if she feels like pulling out animals, she can. She just often doesn't think about that. Also because
I'm trying.
I mean, the first time she did, she pulled out a goat, it stood there, and then it got frozen by a cone of cold and died. So, yeah, it's the rust-colored bag is not the most useful bag. She's pulled a goat out of it like 3 times.
For that goat.
Well,
That could be why she doesn't use it a lot. But she also has, what else does she have? She's got the magical paint things now.
Ooh.
As well. Just because she was like our guild master, whatever person, our boss, was like, we're gonna buy you a reward for winning this tournament thing, and she was like, I literally have too many things already. Goes to the store, what doesn't require attunement? Handed me a thing of paint. Okay.
Yeah,
it's
I'm excited. My knowledge domain cleric now has Eyes of Minute Seeing.
Ooh, what is that?
They're magic glasses.
Yes.
Nice.
Glasses that give her advantage on investigation checks.
Nice. Tay could use those. Her investigation sucks.
Oh, hers is good. So I was like,
I mean,
does anyone else want these? Because
that's what
I want
Nene's
that
for.
so much.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's our wizard's good at that. So
I was gonna say, I would absolutely give the advantage on investigation checks to the person with the best investigation.
Yeah,
because like
honestly,
Waria's never gonna roll terribly well in investigation without pure luck. But
honestly, though, I think the
I
best.
don't know who has the best investigation.
not Waria.
What in this party?
In this party, I
I
guess.
feel like it's aided because I have
think it might be Aiden.
I think it's Aiden.
Yeah.
I was like, I know it's not
Aiden
Leah.
Bellis,
She's not
I'm
very
pretty sure.
smart.
Waria has a +2, but that's only because of Jack of all trades.
Yeah.
I have +9.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you got
I
this.
have a +9 investigation.
Oh, so
Okay.
both of you. Okay.
I have
Aiden and Bellis.
Aiden and Bellis got
the
it.
best magic item from that last session of the local game I've been playing in was we got what was it? There was like there was something else that was like more useful that this like person we saved, this like villager we saved, was like, here, you can take the things out of this chest. And so there was something I forget what the one thing was that was like actually useful, and then the other thing was this like Elizabethan looking neck ruff that works like a hat of disguise, but it only
like a neck
disguises
cowl?
you, huh?
It's like a neck cowl.
Like one of those
like
big ruffs that in like Shakespeare.
Yeah, that's funny.
But it only works from the neck up.
That's really funny.
And it doesn't disguise the neck ruff.
Why?
Why?
I'm just like, wait.
That's useless, and we're giving it to our rogue. Because that's hilarious.
We got it right?
Oh, I remember the other thing was like a necklace or a ring or something that could unlock stuff.
So are we gonna kill Ghost Mind Flare?
I would certainly hope so. That is indeed the plan.
The goal is to destroy the Ghost Mind Flare?
Yes. It's gross and it got skin cells all over me as I found out.
Skin cells?
It's not slimy because it's very fucking dehydrated.
Oh.
Ah.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Say lovey. At least it's not slime.
So thank you, Aiden, but
At least it's not slime.
yeah, at least that's not my brain matter on me, so
Yeah. No, well, I don't know if it tried. Definitely tried.
yeah, that was really fucking close.
That is that cowl, in my opinion. That was
Basically, yeah.
shark head.
Except it's just your head.
I know it's even less than that, but that was just my first thought was the like shark head.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
So I have just all of my D8s sitting out now, and I figure because there's different smites I can do, I'm like, I have like a fire D8 because I have all of the elemental die. So I'm like, for searing smite, I could do that one, and then there's like ensnaring smite, or no, that's ensnaring strike, whichever. But I'm like, yeah, I'll figure out which ones I want to use. But they're all sitting there now, so that's the thing.
Dice.
Yes.
So I think we're all here. Yes?
Yep.
Okay.
Can't actually see Kristen's
Everyone's in
camera,
chat, but
Yeah.
I think.
Yep.
Is it refresh time?
I mean,
My camera's on.
I can see Kristen.
Okay, let me try
I
this.
can't, but
She's the only one I can't see. I'm gonna be afraid to mess it up. So.
Okay, there we go.
I'm just like, it'll get there eventually.
Yeah, it'll get there.
It's roll
eventually.
20.
That's my job. Okay. At least it's a picture of Ellis, so that works. Sorry.
There's that. So I hadn't typed up a recap for last session. So I'll just wing it. Doing it live.
Yeah,
Do
got
it
it.
live.
Fuck it, do it live.
Fuck it, do it live. So last time on Wild Times in Wildemount, you all came face to face with the confused apparition of a long since dead elf warrior, some kind of guard, who both literally and metaphorically wasn't quite all there. Wasn't particularly responsive or communicative, but at the same time also wasn't hostile.
Hi, Cam. Hi, Hako.
The dog wanted to be on camera, apparently.
Would often sort of get lost in the middle of conversation and occasionally would actually disapparate before appearing again a little bit later, having completely forgotten the conversation that it was having with all of you. But no.
She would need a much larger dog.
Oh no, she's very small.
So I'm sure you passed up all kinds of interesting four-legged creatures in that jungle back there.
Nope, right out of that.
Get her a dinosaur.
Sorry.
I mean, there's a whole plain where halflings ride dinosaurs. So, without encountering any resistance from the ghost, you all made your way to the bottom floor of this elf scout tower place, investigating what you could find. Very quickly discovering that there was some sort of hidden chamber below the one that you were in that was accessed in some sort of magical means. You discovered the mirror that seemed to look in on a reflection of the room that you were in, possibly a different room or the same room, and you're not quite sure exactly what it was that you were seeing. Just know that it was some kind of strange scrying device. Very quickly found a control mechanism that would allow you to open one of the three doors that left the room. And after some divination spells and a exceedingly direct answer from the Raven, learned that there was actually indeed useful information under your feet, but from what you were able to gather, also something very, very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And you did find something very, very dangerous, and it proceeded to mind blast most of you and almost eat Crotonus' face. But through a number of well-placed strikes, a couple of crits, and a super helpful paladin aura, along with home from Aiden's patron urging him on, and you all slayed the dehydrated and desiccated form of this mind flayer that seemed to have been trapped down here for who knows how long, possibly since the actual calamity itself. Upon doing so and sort of all taking a breath, you were all very disconcerted with the sort of I'm trying to remember exactly how I described it, but the body basically kind of collapsed a bit, and its strange spirit rose up out from the mind flayer in some sort of strange shadow-esque form.
Oh.
And is sort of looming up and over everybody.
That's big.
Yeah,
That's ugly.
Oh, that's real big.
Double plus ungood.
Yes.
And as it as it does, you can just sense this sort of roiling wave of actual hate and anger kind of wash over all of you, along with a sort of blast of very chill cold as this strange, shadowy, spectral mind flare sort of rises up in front of you and then kind of begins to almost spread itself out, almost as if to intimidate the lot of you, being significantly larger than it was before. And that's where we left off, right in the middle of sort of
Yay!
combat.
So exciting.
So exciting. I don't know if there's a turn tracker. Oh, yes, there is a turn tracker.
Huzzah!
Huzzah.
Do we remember how many rounds it has
Oh,
been,
right.
out of curiosity?
It was
I
like
believe we had just finished or started like round 4. because
Yeah,
we-
see, I have
Okay.
7 rounds of Beacon of Hope left written.
Mhm.
Okay,
So-
because I have protection from evil and good up on Velis still, so I just wanted to make sure that
I just
we
need to
knew.
remember the concept.
Which that goes for 10 minutes, so
Yeah,
Aiden
just
has
fine.
just taken his turn
Mhm.
and stabbed the thing and killed it. But its spirit having been
Yeah, I
trapped.
came up with a better how do you want to do this afterward because I'm
Oh.
not.
Oh.
that's how that works. Yeah,
I'm not the
This
greatest at impromptu fight choreography.
same.
It's not easy.
No.
No, it's not.
Matt's prowess in that is impressive.
Yeah.
So whatever that is in your mind, we'll totally retcon it, and that's what you did. And it was really cool.
We're all very
But
impressed.
a few moments
Yes.
after
Thank
the
you.
body collapses to the ground and the shadow sort of rises up, it also like just so happens to be its turn, which is just crazy how that works.
Great.
Yeah. To quote Dragon Age, well, shit.
Yeah. So get back. Yeah.
Is that a quote in Dragon Age?
Yes, several. Dragon
I'm
Age
sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
a lot of Dragon Age.
There's actually a quest
Mostly
just
Varric.
in Dragon Age Inquisition called
That's
Well.
Varric.
Well,
Yeah,
shit.
Varric's personal quest in Inquisition.
That's amazing.
Oh my god, I
And
want to make
honestly,
a
it just kind
character
of
based
sums
on
up the
Varric
entire
now.
franchise.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
it
that's
just
fair.
got worse.
I'm gonna make a character based on Varric now because that's amazing.
Mm.
Dwarven Bard.
Okay, hold on. So, because I purchased the monster manual,
I mean, probably a dwarven rogue bard
Yeah.
multi-class.
There you go.
I don't have
Swashbuckler.
it in D&D
Swashbuckler,
Beyond.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, let me get my. Hold on. Is it not? Sorry. I should have totally pulled this up before.
Although, actually, I don't know that Swashbuckler would really work for Varric, because Swashbuckler is heavy on the melee.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and he's not melee.
He's
That's
not
true.
melee.
Hmm.
Not at all.
Honestly, I like the idea of a College of Whispers bard based on Varric.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that could work. That could work. I can see that.
All right.
I get it for
So-
2 seconds and she throws my dice all over my desk.
cat do what cat do.
All right. So, let's go ahead and get.
Oh
this
god,
started
I'm up in
off.
this thing's face with half HP.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't even see your HP bar right now.
Getting
It's
further and further and
underneath
further.
the thing.
There you go.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
So I'll need everybody within 60 feet, which should be everybody.
Because this room isn't big enough.
Room is not very big.
Everybody.
Right. It's almost
No.
please make a wisdom saving throw against a fear effect. With the
Great.
D,
Oh wait, I
Okay.
can't be frightened.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
Velis doesn't even have to make.
right.
We have advantage because of Beacon of Hope, or no? That's something
No.
else.
That's
Natural 20.
All right.
Hey.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
that's
be-
great. I'll take
We
that.
get how
But
You
we're
get
still in your
plus
aura,
4
right?
if you're in my aura. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not in your aura. I get a 15.
Yeah.
18.
21.
Thank you, Leah.
Mine. What is mine? Mine's a natural 20, so that's like a 20. Was it wisdom? That's a 30.
It's a lot.
Yeah. 23.
Okay. So
Which is
did I hear
hilarious 'cause
somebody
I'm
got
all
less
ten.
than 16?
Less than what?
16.
16.
15.
So all of you are bolstered by Leah's presence, but Wuria, you're
It's so big.
I'm alone.
Even in your ability to see in the dark, it suddenly seems so dark right now, and you're unsure of if River Dancer has abandoned you and you've lost your power or you've lost your voice. It's you are considered frightened.
Okay.
Although you're probably not planning on moving any closer to the creature anyway.
Yeah, typically not.
Yeah. Okay. So, in addition to that, it is going to let's see. Rise up into the air at least as much as it can in this sort of somewhat low ceiling chamber. And it's just gonna basically move through everybody. So any of you who want to make attack against it,
Yes, please.
you can make an
Absolutely.
opportunity
Yeah.
attack.
Ooh, I don't think that.
That's
I get to attack.
Right.
27.
What is my hit bonus? Hang on here.
25. Also,
Definitely hit.
Sentinel, 0 movement.
22.
Oh,
17 for me.
22.
I get to sneak attack him. Wait, if he can't move, does everybody else still get this attack
That's
of
true.
opportunity?
yeah, if
Oh,
he
yeah.
doesn't move, if it doesn't move out of their range, then it doesn't. So yeah.
Okay.
I have a
Because
sneak
it moves
attack.
5. It's weird how that works.
Mhm.
So it technically reduces the thing's speed to 0
Mm-hmm.
when you do the Sentinel, right?
So basically, it doesn't get as far as past Cortanas.
Yeah, it doesn't get
Yeah,
past me.
exactly.
So did only Cortanas get an attack off then?
I
would probably say. I mean, I'm probably like
yeah.
me and Velas might have gotten the
Yeah.
attack
It's
off,
still
but
in
Yeah.
melee, hasn't left melee range of you. It's big. So when it moved 5 feet and basically moved through Cortanas' space, and she stabbed out at it with her magic sword, which could physically hit it, her Sentinel thing reduced its speed to 0. So it's still in melee range of you two. So, because
Top of me.
an attack of opportunity
Yeah, I know.
triggers
Yeah.
if it moves out of your melee range, but Sentinel triggers if it moves. Well, no.
Into, right? Or
It's just when I hit a
No,
creature with
that's-
opportunity attack.
Okay.
so
then
they'd be on the other side of it.
it would be on the other side of you
Mhm.
because it would have to leave your melee range.
Yeah.
So everybody
So-
would get set for this
Yeah.
because it's moving
Okay.
directly through.
I was gonna
Does-
say if it said it that way, yeah, it would have hit Cortanas like last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would I have gotten?
Was it ever in melee?
I don't know. I don't think Elias was in.
Okay,
melee.
yeah. I guess
Yeah.
if it went.
I was like that way.
Yeah,
My
if
melee
it went,
range
like,
is
this way.
10
Then no, it wouldn't
so.
have. Elias's melee. So.
Yeah, I was like, it's in my range
I'm
because I have
really
longer range.
shitty.
It's in your range, but it didn't move out of your range.
It is also
Me?
marked.
Yeah.
So I would not actually hit it then. It would just be those two, right? Yeah. Because
The
it's
18 would not
17
hit.
damage.
17? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Since it is impeded, it will turn around and strike at the thing that impeded it. How much damage did everyone else do? Because there was a bunch of so Cortanas, you struck it.
Yo, yep. Oh, right. So
How much
that.
damage?
Damage cock rolls.
12.
Okay. And then Aiden, you got an 18. That wasn't enough to hit it. Elias.
Elias didn't make one.
I didn't. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we determined it didn't actually pass through
Yeah,
my
it wasn't really close enough to
melee.
start.
So yeah.
But it will go ahead and make a series of so its form is it's shadowy, but there's still a little bit of physicality to it. And so when it reaches out for you, this sort of large, ghostly, dark shadow of a mind flayer, it still does reach out for its with its tentacles at you.
Disadvantage on the first strike because of Endunacell.
Okay. Oh, that's right, because of the previous thing. Which is good because it would have definitely hit you. But it makes another strike at you, and that is a 20 to hit.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So you're going to take 15 points of psychic damage. As the tendrils aren't like actually physically gripping you, but you can feel them like somewhat passing through you and directly entering your mind and causing sort of flashes of just bright pain. Wuria.
All right. So Wuria is going to try to circle around the wall, staying as far away from it as she can. Because logic.
Yeah.
Which puts her. There's not a grid, but I think I measured 30 out there. And then she is going to try to cast Bane on it.
Okay.
So that is a charisma save, DC 16.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not. I think it does. Like most aberrations have a charisma penalty. That's the thing. It's like I'm kind of actually mashing up.
Right.
It's like it's like a mind flayer, but it's also not an aberration anymore. It's undead, but it saves with an 18. So.
Okay, so it does save. Okay, and then no, it's fine. So I'm assuming that even though Cortanis' health bar is lower, Villas has significantly less health.
I have 33.
Yeah.
So she is going to give you 2 bits of healing light, so that will be 10 healing, Bellis.
Thank you.
Actually, is Beacon of Hope still up?
Yeah. Oh, so you,
it's
max. It's automatically max.
That'll be 12 instead.
Yeah,
Okay.
Beacon of Hope is still up.
Excuse me.
It's me, 45.
Just for reference.
Hooray, ladder.
Excuse me.
And that is her turn because that is an action and a bonus action.
Okay, Leah.
I hit the thing.
And she's whimpering a little because this thing is scary and very large. Very small.
Oh, go ahead and you can make a saving throw on your turn at the end of your turn.
Oh, saving throw. Okay. I have advantage against saves against being frightened. Does that continue for second attempt?
Yeah, because it's the.
I would assume.
I assume so, but I wanted to double check before I took it. I think I just saved at a 16.
Yeah.
Just
Yay!
barely.
Yay!
How dare you frighten small mom?
Small mom is no longer scared.
We have small mom and big mom.
Yep.
Small mom,
All right.
tall mom.
Leah.
All right. Tall mom is going to attack.
Hooray!
Sounds about right.
How dare you scare my children and my small mom?
My fellow mom.
Fellow small mom.
Sometimes a family is a small mom, a tall mom, and a bunch of unruly stabby children.
Can that be like our campaign motto right there? Like that is so perfect.
Yes, please.
Somebody like type that up, please. That is not taking a turn right now.
I am actually typing it up.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, does a 16 hit?
16 will not hit. No.
Okay. Well, I have another attack.
Okay. This thing is definitely spectral and undead.
This do better. 25.
Oh, that will, undoubtedly.
Yeah. Okay. So that is I need to remember to get my d10s out. I'll use the big D10. It's fine. Ooh! Plus 4. 13 points of slashy. Whatever it is. Is that slashing? Slashy.
Oh, yeah.
Magic slashy.
Yay, magic
Only
slashy.
when you're actually hitting it.
Yes. Yeah, I had that moment for a second that I was like, wait, no, it is magical now.
Yeah.
So 13 magic slashy damage, and then I don't know that I can do anything as a bonus action because paladins don't freaking learn healing word. It's really annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like bonus action heal would be so nice. So yeah, that's
Even just a
all I
ranged
can
heal would
do.
be nice as a paladin.
Yeah, right?
But no.
No, but yeah, you're all
Yeah.
contact heals.
I mean, like I get the aura spells, which are nice, but those are also then all concentration. So
Yeah.
Yeah. No. You
Anyways,
don't have to
yeah,
lay on hands.
nope. Lay on hand.
Yeah. Unless you had like.
I
you know,
mean,
Reed Richards
yeah.
as a paladin.
Yeah.
Velix, it is your turn. Sorry. Yeah.
Alright.
Any sort of tension or scariness about this encounter is completely gone as soon as I start joking about Reed Richards. So.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop Zephyr Strike and cast Hunter's Mark on him,
Okay.
Nice.
which I
Hunter's
don't think I've ever
Mark.
used before. And then I'm gonna run up and stab him.
All right.
Not hug him.
Oh, yeah.
18.
Hugging with knives.
Stabbing is just hugging with knives, guys.
Yeah.
Does the 18 hit?
All right. So that's bonus action and action. So.
Yeah. Does that
lay
hit?
it. No, 18 does not hit.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, you're like stabbing the thing, but it doesn't really seem to notice it. You must just be getting shadow stuff and not.
Yeah, I rolled really shitty.
All right. So this thing is undead. Yeah.
It's floating around and it's got shadows like dripping off of it like ink.
Educated guess that it's probably.
And it rose up.
It
out
came
of
out of a living body.
Yeah.
It's like we killed it.
Good point.
And then
it
came
showed
back.
Yeah.
So I'm actually just gonna run up to it and take a swing with my mace because it's
Right.
and
Yeah.
I'm activating my mace as I
Okay.
do this.
Wow.
So I get the extra radiant
Yeah,
damage.
it's interesting. It's like when you're swinging through the creature, like the light
Nope.
dims on the mace
Nope.
because it's covered in shadow.
That's 15.
Yeah, that's not gonna. I mean, yeah, you're swinging through it, but you're just not hitting
That's
it.
This thing has unfortunately high AC.
well,
Don't like
bonus
it.
action because I don't think it doesn't say
On.
on the mace. It just says the weapon glows red as a torch when its wielder commands.
Yeah,
It doesn't say that it takes like a bonus action or anything.
it doesn't say anything, so then just do it.
All right.
It doesn't say as a bonus action or
Yeah,
anything like
it's
that.
not like I have the whatever.
Right,
Gunblade
and
or
it's not.
other game.
Well, here's the thing, and there's a difference between it glows bright like a torch versus like the light spell. If it was the light spell,
Yeah,
that
that's
would
true.
probably be like
Then
a
it would
bonus,
probably
like
be a bonus
you'd be
action.
casting a spell as a bonus action, and it would say bonus action, but it's
Yeah.
not. So it's
Yeah,
just
the
like-
light doesn't actually do anything with this. It just glows.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and
It glows.
bonus action cast spiritual weapon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Get my
Spoopy burb.
Spoopy burb.
Spoop.
Spoopy burb.
We like you, Spoopy burb.
Oh,
You're our favorite.
Burb frond.
Right there. Barprond. And
Face the
get
king.
attack.
Okay.
Actually, maybe we should, just spectral poop on it.
Spectral bird poop.
Spectral bird poop.
Radiant
Damaging
bird poop.
spectral bird.
Add
poop.
that. Add that.
Yeah.
Spectral bird poop.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. 17?
Nope.
No, okay.
Yeah, you need
Jeez.
to hit this thing.
Switch D.
Gets
Why
Cortana.
is this such a high
Alright.
AC?
Well, that's at least it's out now. So, all right.
I don't like this thing. It's too hard to hit.
It's
Yeah.
half incorporeal and
Yeah.
very difficult to like. You're swinging at it. It's just you're attacking mist or shadow. All right, back up to the top of the round. Cortanus.
All right. We can move through allies, right?
Half speed, yeah.
Half speed. Okay. Then it's going to basically do what she did before, kind of slightly duck under Leah's glaive to get between her and Elias, and starts trying to slam into this thing.
Sure.
Okay, come on. Natural 20! Fuck you!
Yeah!
Oh, this is a good night. So that is... Ooh.
At least someone's hidden.
19 slashing damage, and I get advantage for the next one.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, that is 23.
Yeah, so when you hit it with your first blade, like all of its shadows sort of begin to like retract and dim and kind of get sucked in, and so you can see its form significantly better. Yeah.
Sweet. And second attack was another 14 damage.
Okay.
She's digging into this thing, but then yeah. Not too good. She's kind of like holding it up, kind of getting between her and like between it and Elias, and so, thou shalt not take these memories from me. And second wind.
Oh, yikes. Okay. Yes, you can see that like the onslaught of strikes that it's taken so far. You can see it's having difficulty like forming its shadow back up again.
Ooh, 79. Okay, another 16 points. All right.
Sure.
16. Okay. I'm a bit better. And it's marked. And that is my turn, because I can't do anything else.
Sure.
It's a good turn.
Right?
Oops. Oops. I clicked the wrong thing. I'm coming back to roll 20.
Sure.
That was not intentional.
Okay. Aiden.
I'm gonna move up around over here.
Okay.
I'm gonna curse it. Cause yeah.
All the debuffs.
And then I take 2 swings.
All right.
Fuck him up.
Woo!
And they both miss.
Oh
No.
It doesn't.
I
It
don't
wouldn't be
like
taking
this
super extra
thing.
damage anymore because it's technically not an aberration, but
Aw.
it's still magical weapons. Okay. Alrighty. So it is completely surrounded by foes. It does not like this. So it is going to basically summon a globe of darkness around all of you,
Oh.
which
Ah.
is
Like
surprisingly ineffective in some instances.
It
I didn't know that.
Can still
doesn't know that.
Warlock.
Everyone else can't though. So
Hey, you know.
Alright.
4 out of
Not
5
again.
isn't bad.
Let's turn on a... Boom. Alright.
Hmm.
It's big.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's bigger than the other ones.
Counter spells up in here.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, was that
Bigger
magic?
than a-
That was.
than
I
a
mean,
lot of that spell
I-
is.
that's one thing. One thing that's hard with counterspell is knowing when it's an ability and when it's magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it would be a spell, and
You would
they're
say?
casting a spell, then I will say they cast a
Right.
spell.
That's
This
what.
thing
That,
is it's
Yeah.
basically just it's like
Innate.
yeah.
yeah,
That was my.
innate
That was my
abilities
assumption.
that-
It is an ink
Yeah.
cloud.
Which is why. Which
Yeah.
is why where you didn't counterspell.
Yeah.
Because she has
It
it
is
and
an
she
ink
will
cloud.
use it if she can.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Against this sucker, at least.
Sure. So, Aiden and Velis, not Aiden and Velis, Aiden and Wuria, you can still both see the creature, although it is a little bit. It's kind of like everything inside of the globe is like shaded almost, but you can still see.
Okay.
And so once it summons that, Oh gosh. Yeah, it is just not interested in continuing to get assaulted by everybody. So it's going to move again.
I'm
but
assuming
that
I
gives
get a
everybody-
swing at it.
Yeah, you definitely get a swing at it. Everyone else can as well because you're sensing the presence moving away from you. So you
Okay.
all have disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Got it.
Except for Zealous.
Except for me.
Wait, why am I?
Oh,
I rolled double 19.
Well,
so that's
fucking natural
29.
one.
Nope. No
I
Cortana.
got a 21.
Wait, we all get an attack of opportunity? Is
With
that?
disadvantage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's not
disadvantage.
gonna-
It's
Nope.
disadvantage because you can't see it.
If you want to use it, you don't have to swing at
You don't have to
I mean,
defend
I don't know why I wouldn't. I feel like
it to save your action for something else.
Yeah.
Correct.
I don't know what other reactions I can do other than attacking.
Ooh.
Yeah, paladins don't get a lot
So
of
I
damage.
can.
I was like, I don't have any abilities that are reactions.
I can add my hunter's mark to
Oh.
an attack of opportunity too.
Yeah.
Would have been an implacable mark,
Yeah.
but nah, that wouldn't have
And
hit
you get
either.
sneak attack damage.
Damn.
I got 21.
many
I'm
dice.
assuming that hits.
Yeah,
18
literally.
Oh no.
Should I go for it?
19
spell slots
damage.
Right now. Yeah.
Oh, I
Okay.
could have smited the thing earlier. I forgot about that. Whoops.
I'm gonna smite it.
Okay, you do
Get
that.
it.
Smite.
That is a lot of 7s.
Woo.
And an 8.
Nice.
Alright, let me see. Here's this.
I rolled 2 6s and 2 1s because, of course.
Hey, that's
18.
That'll be the
28.
bunch of one.
yeah. Sick. If you're gonna roll
Yeah.
2 1s, at least you rolled max on the other 2.
That's true.
43.
That's a lot.
52.
Holy
Yeah.
What kind of smite is
What
this?
number is that?
Eldritch Smite.
Smite. Yeah.
It's a
Damn.
5th level smite. It's a 5th level
Yeah,
spell
it's a
slot
fifth
smite.
I know, it's
Okay.
amazing.
That's crazy.
Warlocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it can be knocked
Again.
prone, if it's huge or smaller, it gets knocked prone.
Oh, it can't be knocked prone
Yeah,
because
it's a
it's
ghost. so-
floating and flying and with immune
Yeah.
reaction. However,
Ooh.
Is it dead?
I'd like it to be like
it is-
horizontal.
It is re-dead. Yeah. That was it.
It is re-dead.
Aiden gets a double. How do you want to do this?
Go
Being a
ahead.
singing creature.
Here I was thinking
re-deads.
that bumping it up and giving it max HP would let it survive escaping all you fools, but I forgot about Sentinel.
Oh yeah. Teamwork.
Yeah, so everyone's like, what happened? I can't see.
And it's like, bitch dead.
Yeah.
Not
It
even
just implodes
death
on
can
itself
save
in the
you from me.
darkness and just
And
what
and
happened?
suddenly it's like we can see, and it's just like there's like
Uh-oh.
smoke residue somewhere, and it's just like
Yeah.
where'd it go? What
You
happened?
just
Where
see
it falls out.
Aiden
Good job, Aiden.
like holding out his blade, and there's like just this blast of sort of cold energy that you can see, kind of almost dissipating the smoke and the shadow of what this creature used to be, and there's just no sign of the creature. Sort of like, wait, what?
Did you kill it? What happened?
Well, conveniently, seeing in darkness makes killing things easier when they make it dark.
I mean, yes.
What was that?
Well done.
Mind Flayer
is it-
Ghost?
Is it actually gone? Dead? I mean, we
I'm
killed it once, and
assuming-
then that thing came.
Where he heads
So-
over to the group.
This is
Leah
the
asking
third
that,
step after
Can I
ghost.
feel the hunter's mark faded?
Yeah, the hunter's
Okay.
mark fades, so the creature that it was targeting is
Oh,
no longer on this plane of
Okay.
existence.
Okay.
It's dead.
Gonna put away her blades and brush like the gross whatever the fuck was on her head. Some like bits of teeth marks on her head. Ugh.
Well, I didn't expect Mind Flayer Ghosts, but
That's a new one, but
I mean, the thing was trapped down here for a while. Probably had a lot of resentment build up.
Perhaps.
there.
Speaking
True,
of
yes.
down here, just peeking around this room as best she can, given she can't see that.
Yeah, let's
well,
start
but-
digging around.
yeah, let's take a look around and see.
I does not wish to
Yeah,
stay
well,
here.
I mean,
Too
Is there
much
anything in
longer.
this? I thought it was just like an empty chamber.
I mean,
No,
No, there was like
So there this chamber looks as if it actually had like maybe wooden walls, maybe some maybe like the equivalent of maybe a small cell with iron bars, furniture, and all of that, but everything has been completely demolished and leveled.
I get 14 HP back.
Nice.
And so, but the floor is it's basically like if you took everything that may have been here and was a physical structure or piece of furniture and destroyed it, and so the floor is basically like just piles and piles of rubble and debris and stuff. That's kind of hard to really differentiate.
I'm just gonna start sifting through it.
Maria takes a deep breath, looks around for a moment, and says, "There's a lot of magic here."
Before I drop Beacon of Hope, I'm just gonna just cast Mass Healing Word on everyone.
Yay!
So
be careful. Abjuration, and then there's a few other points of other things, and she sort of points to wherever she's sensing things.
Whoever wants to make an investigation roll with advantage, because we're just like, there's
the thing to look for.
There's a thing.
Ooh. Yeah, 14.
16.
I mean, sure.
What was the healing?
Everyone gets 9 hit points back.
Maximized.
Hey, that's exactly how much I need.
Because I figured before I drop Beacon of Hope, I'm just gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So everyone gets the max.
Okay. So
I'm full health exactly.
Nice.
I'm down 2.
So sifting through pretty much anything that has any kind of flat surface has this normally illithid don't write things down. They have a sort of a communal hive mind that just has knowledge, and it's basically just like everybody's got the internet in their brain. So they don't often write anything.
One way to explain it.
However, what you would experience coming down, and then as you're kind of digging through things, the effect is lessened somewhat a little bit. You're thinking.
I feel like that was really only Aiden that got hit with that because he can.
You can read it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, he's the only one that it affected. I thought.
Yeah.
So if
I
you think
could read.
of
I mean, I speak deep speech.
that thing, it's like it's not written deep speech. Illithid writing is specifically so. Think of like the wavy lines on the blocks from the Fifth Element.
Mm-hmm.
Illithid writing is actually sort of like a psychic braille. But because Aiden can read anything that's written, instead of having to like touch it and physically interact with it and experience it,
I got assaulted by it.
And so it's all pretty much everything is covered in the mad ravings of this illithid that had been down here for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. But as you're sort of digging through and finding a couple of things, you turn over what may have one point been sort of a nicely crafted wooden box of some kind that looks like it may have been broken in half. It's got like wood inlay. It would have been a nice decorative container of some kind. And on the other side, you can see that it's got like a nice velvet lining, and you can see 2 brooches that look like the Telyana crest. And those are the things that Worry is pointing out. Is like those are magic. And then you keep digging around, and using her ability, you can ferret out a total of 4 of these that must have been at one point in sort of a nice decorative box. And these emanate a very faint aura of transmutation magic. And they're all just sort of like a cloak brooch or something like that, with the crest of the Telyana sort of guard of sorts, which is
Was that? Did anybody in particular find that, or was that just?
It's just kind of there's a bunch of them around the room as well.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a total of 4 of them that looked that they had all been in this particular box. Going through more and more, some of you, as you're digging and touching through this, as you touch these objects, every now and again you get this strange flash of like this whispery voice that you don't understand, except, Velis, you do understand it. It is speaking deep speech of sorts. And it's mostly mad rage.
I actually have deep speech as well.
Yeah.
So.
So you can, it's strange because you can read it without having to touch it, because you can read everything. So a lot of it is mad ravings, but gathering up and piecing together what information you can, there's references to the three. And if you spend a little bit of time digging through the debris and finding the remains of various things, you can eventually find a section of the writing where it's actually probably where it may have started. And it's still a little unhinged, but it is discussing the coming of the three, and it names 3 Delkir. And how they were brought to this plane by, it doesn't identify or name anyone, but other than just calling them the master. And they were brought to this plane and set loose to wreak havoc, to destroy, to convert, and to basically corrupt and poison the world that the prime deities had created. So very likely this is like Calamity era type stuff. Little vague. But it does name the 3 Delkir, and you recognize one of the names, which is Belshalara, which is the name of that that goes with that face that you saw in Sisoa in the mines. And he is identified as the Lord of Eyes. And then there's another name, Ulafra, identified, and I'll type these in actually. Belshalar should still be in there. Ulafra, Mouth of Thirst. And they were all brought to the land. And they were kind of like each given a domain and responsible for, you take that, you go have fun, mess shit up. That's not a very poetic way of putting it, but had I written...
I cut out a little bit there. I might have missed some stuff.
Sure. So, hold on.
Which I want to know this stuff because it's very relevant.
Oh, yeah. Relevant to you specifically.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if, I mean, only Velis and Aiden can even read this stuff, right? So, like, unless they're telling me, I'm not taking notes on this because I'm like, unless they tell me about it, I don't know.
During the initial battle between the prime deities and the betrayer gods, 3 Delkir were summoned by, it doesn't identify who, just sort of referred to as like the master or someone who's more powerful than they, and just kind of set upon as almost as if as lieutenants to just corrupt, destroy, consume, that kind of thing. And they're identified as Belshalar, the Lord of Eyes, Ulathra, the Mouth of Thirsts, and Kaizen, the Prince of Slime.
Yeah.
And
cute.
These are the 3 that came. And
do we have spelling for Belshalar?
I put it into the chat. Did it not come in?
No, it's there.
In the Roll20 chat.
Yeah,
Belshalar is not.
The last. Yeah, I see the.
I have
Belshalar.
it written down somewhere.
It's from before. Let me
From
pull it up.
Sisoa.
Yeah, that was like a while back.
Aha.
Hey, I spelled it right. I remember it.
Right. So, in addition to, each one of them kind of had a region that was their domain that sort of like you take this area, and then you take this area, and then you take this area. And from what you understand, each one of these Delkir had signature gifts that they would grant to the locals who would turn to them and swear them power and fealty. They each would have their own host of creatures that they would sort of manipulate and create. The Ul Athra was the one that was charged with basically taking Telyana and taking its both its people and the power that it drew from whatever it sort of it was a source of power, and Ulathra was charged with taking it. And so Ulathra had mind flayers and beholders at its command. And then Belshalar was responsible for something further away, and then furthest away was Kaizen, the Prince of Slime, who, if you, I'm trying to remember, I don't know if did I write it down? No, I didn't write it down. But last night's Critical Role episode, apparently there is an elven city in Wildemount that was destroyed long ago, and the forest around it was corrupted.
Oh.
Wait, what? Really?
You are precog.
There's so much more than that. Like, there's so much that I just.
There's a lot that happened, but that was a little bit of lore that we discovered.
Well, no, but I mean the fact that then like the elven city was destroyed, and then they went to a city of dwarves. It was so specific.
Yeah.
It was so specific.
Yeah, and the survivors fled and went to join with a bunch of dwarves.
That's funny. That's funny.
Matt Mercer has been watching our stream and not telling us.
That is my headcanon. I'm sticking to it.
But were there shadow elves
I'm
who were racist to other elves?
Yeah. We'll see what happens if the Mighty 8-9 ever go to Dwarden, if there's a social But, from what you gather, Kaizen was successful. And the forest and the little forest kingdom of elves fell very, very quickly. Kaizen got bored and has, sort of quickly they lost contact with them. Belshalar was always more of a manipulator. Really, really liked just playing with things. Whereas Ul Athra is literally just all about consumption and spreading, and is more not animalistic, but less driven by intelligence and more just on pure hedonistic spread, consume, almost as if it was like a virus rather than an intelligent thinking creature.
I'm trying to think of what the word. Oh, that's it. Assimilate.
Yeah, assimilate. Yeah.
Wildemount.
Yeah.
Amongst the mad ravings, there is a little bit of detail in that. At first, their footholds were very small and they were very, very weak, and so in order to gather power to really complete their task, they had to kind of infiltrate and convert people, because a lot of their power comes from the consumption of souls. Almost fiendish in that sense, but They're very much from far realms. And so it was slow, and they were relatively successful, but they were quickly uncovered, and as a means of escape, the elves attempted to basically shift their entire city to the Shadowfell. But
it half worked.
something went wrong. They had the Delkir and the Aberration host had someone on the inside, so to speak, that prevented them from completing the ritual. And so, unlike Simgorn, which bounced into the Feywild a couple of times over the many centuries, they didn't finish. And so now, and that's the last thing that it knows, because it had been sort of
magically cut off.
Yeah, it had been trapped down here. It had basically been tricked into coming down here, and then they shut the door on it. And it had been trapped and couldn't escape through magic or power or anything, and basically was just stuck here for the next 800 plus years, and slowly went mad.
And then we showed up.
And then you showed up, and you're like, freedom and food, but
Murder.
you were more powerful.
And murder.
Yeah, murder. Mostly murder.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at Aiden, just since both of us kind of got all that. I think that thing could still be in the city after all this time.
I mean, did kind of run into one of the other ones. Half.
That's encouraging.
Wait, what?
And I'm gonna relay that story.
Right.
Yeah, we was about to
Oh, yeah,
like,
I was gonna
what
say.
are you two talking about?
Any of you who were searching probably would have gotten like weird snippets of that, but like lots of gaps, sort of like Discord cutting out constantly, and you're not quite picking up the conversation.
You also can't read it. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just weird psychic impressions of various things.
This master.
Perhaps
So
I don't know. I don't know about you, but if we're gonna wait to try to talk to the dead mind flayer.
You do.
I feel like
you do find the skull of that elf.
Okay.
An elf.
Okay,
Covered in markings and stuff.
that might be preferable to the dead mind flayer.
I don't think that it would be very useful.
Go hang out.
Where is that ghost, by the way?
Yeah.
I'm also gonna.
Yeah, he was in the fight.
He was with us.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
It fought a little bit.
I can identify these if we.
That's what
take
I was.
the time.
Yeah.
Maybe not in the creepy room full of the creepy things with the creepy dead mind flayer.
Yeah,
Much agreed.
I don't think it's wise.
Like, I don't want to be.
here.
I don't really want to be distracted casting a ritual in this room.
So let's go.
I'm gonna go back up and lock the place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Once we're back upstairs, Waria will sit down with one of the things and ritual cast identify, and probably cast, check another one to make sure they're the same. And if they're the same, maybe not do it 4 times. That's like a long time. But if they're not the
Yeah.
I mean, they all seem identical, and the box that the third of the box that you found, that it looks like it would have held 4 of them specifically.
Okay. Yeah,
So
she
you
just
begin
like
to
cast it twice to make sure that they're identical. There's not something different in the magic, but
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So you're gonna spend 20 minutes ritual casting identify on the brooches.
while everyone else figures out what we're doing. Sounds like a plan.
I want to take one last sweep around downstairs.
I was actually thinking that too before we go
To a
up.
certain extent, we can also say that, like, because you couldn't really get much from any of that, other than just pointing it out. Once you found those, you may have started casting while Velis and Aiden.
Yeah.
Because I would say, with no distractions, no time pressure or anything like that, you could probably just make a thorough search of the room to find all the information that you found, all of each of those brooches. There's also a number of well-preserved elven martial weapons down here.
Ooh.
Okay.
None of them are magic, but there are. So it looks as if there was at least a couple. Basically, 5th edition doesn't have the concept of masterwork quality anymore, but these would all be high quality longbows, long swords, glaives, all done in a very old elven style. But they're all covered with the weird squiggly bar writings of.
Aside from
That's
that, I'd say
unfortunate.
we do very well in Gordon, but
Creepy psychic magic.
they love that shit except for that part.
Remind me.
I might take one of the long swords.
Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna say, I'm like, do we have a bag of holding other than the flushed one that we gave away? I'm trying to remember.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We got one
You
from
traded.
Baby Pumat.
Leah, I'm not sure how wise it is to wield one of these. However, I do think Vicentralex might find one of these to be interesting.
That's
That's
a
true.
good point.
We could also
I suggest we take at least one with us to give to her.
anything of the like hammer variety. I'm wondering if this is something we take it and then take it somewhere else to get it like cleaned up.
Get the graffiti.
Get the
graffiti off it.
The weird psychic
This
Get
mace
enchanted.
is clean. Just go-
No, elves aren't typically known for wielding large blunt weapons in combat.
Yes.
A lot of
Yeah.
more finesse type weapons, longbows.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lots of
Alright.
a number of longbows and long swords.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to grab them all, you could say there's like a dozen of no armor or anything like that, but lots and lots and lots of arrowheads.
Yeah. Hammers are more my
basically
style, so.
Every possible square inch of the surface of anything that could potentially hold this writing, which normally they actually do it with their tentacles, and it's like a basically regular patterns of wiggly lines, except his or its or crazy and erratic, but it's all over the place, different sizes and whatnot. So you find a number of probably easily a good 100+ arrowheads that are all covered in this as well. I mean, nothing special about the arrowheads, but
I'm taking one of those swords for me. If you guys want to take one as a gift, go ahead.
Yeah, may as well.
You can just call it an elvish longsword that's beaded with billeted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just added a normal longsword and then just notated the.
Covered in illithid
I'm
graffiti.
putting
Yeah.
little stars
Did we-
in my
did we take
notebook
a-
beside things that we talked about giving Vicentralex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
It's a good
got
idea.
two
I'm
now.
Yeah.
I'm
What was
adding
the other
a
thing?
Elven
were gonna-
longsword with illicit
gold,
graffiti
jade,
to
and
the
ruby
party
ring.
inventory.
Yeah.
Where did we get that?
I don't remember.
Which one?
I'm
I think it
pretty
was
sure
here.
that was the
The engagement ring, I pocketed.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I don't even remember there being a ring. Was that one of the times that
Yeah,
I was
there
like
was a
out of the
ring
room for a minute?
Yeah, that was Aiden found
'Cause
out.
I was like, we found a ring.
Yeah. we
Yeah,
found a
it-
letter.
Yeah, there was a ring with a love
Yeah.
letter, and Aiden is
Yeah.
keeping it.
Yeah, I have the letter, but aha.
Yeah.
Aiden hangs on to that.
Hey, that's valuable.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
true.
no, it is. Did I tell you what the value
Fence
of it
back in
was?
the Empire, though.
Not a monetary value, but I can infer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just because I'm jotting down something so I remember all of the like, did you just find writing or was it the graffiti that you were reading on everything that told you all of the
It was the
stuff?
graffiti.
The illithid stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Graffiti.
On that note, for things for Vicentralex, could we pocket that journal that was upstairs?
Leah has it.
Right?
Leah has it.
Oh,
Leah
yeah,
has it.
Okay. I'll note
Leah
that.
grabbed the love note and the journal.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just
Which I
putting
think-
stars beside anything possible that we might use.
Yeah,
later.
that's a good
Yeah.
idea to have
Yeah.
thoughts
Yeah,
on.
don't-
Yeah.
don't
Well, and I
forget
have.
the party inventory handout in Roll20 that you can add stuff to.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good because I was like, I have a items page that I'm working on actually getting organized in my notebook that I'm writing down things that at least I'm carrying.
Yeah, the party inventory should have everything that no one has specifically said they're carrying. Like, I'm trying to add to it as we pick things up that no one has said they're carrying. But if someone says they're taking it, I'm not adding it to the party inventory because then it's duplicated somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Now we have names to, not so much faces, but.
We have a wand of
what, Brendan? What was the what was the magic from the badges? Because
so they're basically badges of
and badges of what?
Badges of what you cut out.
Right there.
Communication.
Oh.
Oh, that's handy.
They don't require attunement, and they let you cast message.
Oh,
nice.
Spell without having.
Yeah.
Say we spread those out.
Inter-party walkie-talkies.
Yes, please.
Definitely, Velis and Wiria definitely, because they're usually our scouters.
Wiria has message.
Wiria has message.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then Wiria doesn't need one. Because message is a cantrip, right?
Message is a cantrip.
Yeah.
I feel like Leah would definitely want one of those. Mother hen likes to count her chicks.
Yeah.
So yeah, Velis needs one.
Yes, definitely.
I can scout better with that.
Everyone, there's enough for all but one person. So
okay.
doesn't need it.
Between Cortanus and Elias, personally, between Cortanus and Elias, if you can contact one, they're usually near each other. So
that's fair. Unless I feel like managed to scout. Who knows?
Personally, Leah wants Aiden to have one because he has been known to just kind of
wander away.
Fair.
So we don't have to panic if we turn around and you're not there. And
fair.
They do allow you to cast message as the spell, even if it's not on your spell list. However, if you use it to communicate with someone else who has the badge, there are no limitations as long as you're within range. They could be completely enclosed.
Huh.
Okay.
But the spell, normally there has to be like a path to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like a magic walkie.
A certain depth of stuff, but not infinite stuff.
Right.
I mean, like a magic Star Trek communication.
I sort of feel like Wiria has message, and chances are, if they're going to somewhere really crazy, Velis is with her if she's doing something. She rarely. So if Velis has one and Wiria has message, they're probably fairly well covered.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just use that to pin my cloak.
Yeah, and then if Aiden and Leah and either Elias or Cortanus has one, you guys
feel like
can pick between
Elias.
I mean, Cortanus is more likely to. I don't stealth.
Yeah, I mean, Cortanus is more
but I'm not
likely to be separate.
Good at it, so
yeah.
Like Elias
does sometimes go out in advance.
Yeah, Elias is more likely to be back with like Leah if Leah's not doing something weird. Like I feel like Elias is more likely to be with somebody else.
That's true. Yeah.
Elias needs a
Cleric is not very good by himself. Like clerics by themselves aren't really. Yeah.
So
you've seen what happens when you let Elias go off by himself.
I mean, as much as Wiria would love to be able to cast message through infinite whatever, I mean, it seems like a waste to give it to her because she can cast message with a small limitation. So, and again, if she's off scouting, the likelihood of her being completely by herself is very low.
Yeah.
Well, they don't require attunement, so if you're going off scouting by yourself, somebody can give you theirs.
Right. If she needs to like fly off and do something crazy, So, all right. So that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Lack of attunement. So 4 of you guys get your magical walkie-talkie.
Yay! Can we just talk about how in my notebook I wrote the instead of the 3, so now you know that. Thankfully it's pencil, but the V. I'm like, what?
At least you didn't write the B.
Yeah, I know. But it was just like, okay, I mean the what are we going for next? They, there,
Oh, this is like a custom thing, so
yeah, you'll have to.
I made it a thing.
Yeah, I'm like, I will write it down first, then I'll figure out all the getting it into like D&D
I'm glad that
Beyond
we
and
don't
stuff.
use weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never
Be able to
used
carry this.
encumberment. I've never used encumberment in a campaign,
I feel
honestly.
like
In my inventory, I'm just like, Velis would not be able to look
I feel
for
like
this.
if
feel
you're
like
going to
it's
use
just
encumberment, it's like you
tedious.
want that for specific campaigns, like sure, but in general, it just seems like it's a lot.
Yeah.
It just seems like, it seems tedious and just like kind of weird. Like the only thing that I
taking a short
feel like
rest.
I think of it as is,
Upstairs, yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably upstairs.
Right, hit
So,
dice.
Yeah.
I want some
Worry
dice.
finishes her identify spells probably about the same time as you all finish searching the room and kind of gathering up whatever information. Are you bringing anything from the Illithid body with you when you go upstairs, or just
there was no body. I thought
From the
Oh,
body?
body.
The body. Yeah.
Kataz does not want to touch that.
I mean,
I'll loot it.
If we want to speak with Dad with the Illithid, we can come back downstairs.
I can try to. I mean,
Is there
but-
anything? Did we check the body to see if there was anything
Yeah.
interesting on it?
I didn't know it was still there.
Yeah, no, the
Yeah,
body
it's
was
just
still
not
there.
on the map.
I mean, it was covered in a tattered robe that was threadbare and practically falling apart, filled with holes and whatnot. That
I'll,
it was. That was basically.
I'll take a look at the Illithid body if we really want to, but
If we really want to look at this body.
Once we truly wish to attempt to speak to such a thing again with the state its mind was in before death.
I mean, we
mean,
have the
sometimes death
elf.
clears
We
the
can
mind.
talk to the elf, and if we don't get anything, we can come back
we can
down
back
and
down.
talk
Would
to the
it be willing
Illithid.
to speaketh with us?
I don't think that it's gonna have anything useful to say.
Give it a shot.
I think we got everything we were gonna get from it on these scribbles.
Let's agree.
It's fair.
And we'll take the skull.
Of the elf
Of the,
or the
the elf, yes.
Okay.
No, let me just BRB. I'm going to decapitate this.
That one is
with my
Would
mace.
not be the weirdest thing that we have done.
Dude, that would be the
Not be the
messiest
straightest
decapitation.
I would be
thing
fine
we've
with
done.
Elias Gallaghering the Illithid.
So you did find the skull,
Just
which
carry
was
it with
well
me.
preserved of that elf, but no other bones or evidence of the rest of its body.
Does
Basically,
the skull have a giant hole in it?
It does, in fact, have a giant hole in it.
Nice.
Does it still have a mouth?
Kind of. It's got an upper jaw.
Okay.
The lower jaw,
Oh.
there's no tendons that go onto it.
This might not work.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Does it look like there's enough? That's
Doesn't it
Love
require
to
like
do
some
that.
kind of mouth?
Yeah.
like it's
a mouth.
The spell requires a corpse. You have a
This-
skull.
I say, well, the spell. I mean, it says the corpse must still have a mouth.
And it's
That-
not a corpse. This is a skull.
Okay.
Okay, well then we don't need the skull.
Well, I'm gonna take it up anyway, so I can,
Rights or something.
Fair enough.
put him to rest.
It's not
but,
No,
Leave him
that's fair.
here.
But
So when
I'm still gonna take the skull.
when the rest of you kind of begin to come up and leave the chamber, Worry is finishing her spells and sort of excitedly walking over with this armful of brooches. And Elias, you come up and you're holding the skull. You see the elf ghost of Sinowen kind of like apparate in front of you, and is just kind of standing there watching you. Not saying anything, but just sort of watching.
waves at a ghost. You know?
Awkward.
And you can kind of like see through him a little bit. And when you're kind of like looking at it and you're seeing through him, you notice the reflection in the mirror. You see the face of an elf that is sort of like peering really close into the mirror, waving like they're trying to get all of your attention, and they've got a very frustrated expression on their face.
Huh.
You can see a couple of other elves in the room behind them kind of watching, milling about.
Hey guys.
Where it looks over at the mirror.
Yeah.
What?
So there's like as soon as you look up at the mirror, the elf kind of like makes eye contact with you. Excuse me. So sometimes can be hard to tell, but she's got kind of like a really well, here, hold on. I've got a handout because I'm not always good at describing. So, do I have a handout? Oh, I may not have a handout. It's got the art.
Oh no. Art is good.
Yes. I just need to figure out where I put it. Okay, hold on. Okay, copy to library. And is there no? Okay. Doesn't. Hold on.
Oh, while he tries to find this, if we do end up taking a short rest, Wario will use Song of Rest, so anyone who uses the hit dice gets an extra die.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's appreciated, very.
We forget that's a lot because we
Yeah.
don't necessarily talk about taking who's using hit dice, so
Yeah.
she'll play you a song.
So. Okay. Show 2 players. There we go.
Pretty.
Ooh.
That looks
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Very much gray, pale skin, dark features.
I
Dark
thought it
leather
was just
armor.
black and white.
No, it's all everything that she's wearing is various shades of black and gray. Similarly, among the other elves that are behind her, they all seem to be wearing lightweight armor that allows for a lot of movement. But she's kind of worried when you make eye contact with her. She sort of like impatiently rolls her eyes and then looks at the rest of you, and you can see that she's got kind of like a hand up against the mirror. And if you think back to the instructions, if you're touching the mirror, you can communicate with whoever's on it.
Looking for last, shall I?
I mean, you
someone who
speak
speaks
their
Elvish,
language.
because-
Yeah.
So.
Go for it.
Yeah, Cortanis,
Yeah.
you're probably the
Maybe-
best to speak Elvish.
Alright.
Also
So
maybe
she'll step
someone
up and like
So-
carefully touch the mirror.
When you do, there is a sort of a just the slightest sort of gentlest shock when you touch it, sort of like static electricity kind of thing. But then you can immediately hear some low chatter coming from the elves in the background who are talking with one another. And then when she speaks up, she's not speaking Old Elvish. In fact, it's actually difficult to understand what it is that she is saying because it sounds like a strange mishmash of Elvish along with Common and other languages. Have any of you watched The Expanse?
No.
I've never even heard of that.
I have seen a couple episodes,
Yeah.
so not
Okay.
enough to count.
All right, because there's a particular style of speech among a certain population there that is
I need to
very.
watch more of that. That was a good show.
It is a very good show.
Or
And there's a character that inspired this character, but it's sort of a very sort of hodgepodge bastardization of multiple languages.
because there are some.
Are they speaking Elvish Esperanto?
Yeah, that's what I was like thinking. I was like, there's a language that in life, yes, Esperanto. Sort of
Yeah, it's kind of like that. And it's a little difficult to follow. But what you gather is she's sort of very aggressively saying, who the hell are you? How did you get in there? And
We peeled it like a horrible flesh banana.
Luckily, Elias is not talking
Just
to
turns around and looks at Elias.
Yeah, just
she's cocking her
Not
head because she
actually
doesn't
saying
understand what you're saying. And she sort of like snaps her fingers. And one of the elves from behind comes up, casts a spell, lays a hand on her, and then she says something again. You're still not quite sure what it is that she's saying, other than just sort of like, ooh.
I believe I understand some of it. Yeah, she was like slightly translating, but like pausing for a second, like, who the hell are you? Just changing. They aren't asking who we are and what we are doing here. And
Well,
I know the same thing. I thought this place was dead.
Right.
well, I mean,
Really not
they're
as
somewhere
dead
else,
as
but we're
Oh, hold
travelers.
on. I looked up the wrong spell. So you can all understand.
oh, tongues.
Her.
I was gonna say if it's tongues, yeah. we
Yeah,
can
I was like, was
understand
it
too.
comprehend languages or tongues? Yeah.
It was meant to the one where she could be understood, because I don't want to play like charades. For the
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Magic is a thing. Let's make use of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to find you a clip that accurately sort of shows how she speaks and what she sounds like. Because I am not any one of those nerdy ass voice actors. But
It's fine.
but it's very short, very brusque, impatient. But she asks, "Who the hell are you? How did you get in there? How are you still? What are you doing in the forest? Just what?"
It's fair.
I think at the
asking
moment she
myself
starts
this
making
question.
sense, and we know she's not just speaking Old Elvish, and we can't hear them.
Right.
We're will touch the mirror.
Yeah. Cortana explained that definitely not talking Old Elvish.
Because
Right.
like if Cortanus' understanding of the language isn't useful, Weary is more likely to do the talking.
Yeah.
So
Oh, thank you.
I'm also
Maria.
just picturing it really cute. This Weirya like walking up and you're like, hit.
yeah,
and like,
actually,
and
I
on the
mean,
other
I don't
side, she
think
just sees like.
you can't.
You don't actually
see
need to touch the mirror as long as somebody else has already
No, I thought
activated
so.
it to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
heard.
No, Cortanus is touching it, so you've got audio.
Oh, okay. I thought you
Yeah.
had to be touching it.
There was
Yeah.
just like Cortana's listening to
We
all
can
this
hear
and they're like,
background noise from the other side.
Fair enough. I misunderstood.
Oh, we good?
Cortana's getting
Oh.
more and
So-
more awkward as she was listening and then being very relieved when Weria steps up.
So
Maria does walk up and touch it, but like she goes out of frame, and so the person's kind of like.
well, no. If Weria could understand and they could understand her, she wouldn't have necessarily walked up and touched it. I misunderstood.
I just
the
like the mental image.
spell.
Yeah, right.
I mean, either way, Weirya is really short, and I'm imagining this is at average person height, especially for elves.
For elves.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with
I mean,
boxes.
she might just pop up on the
Yeah, she can like stand on something.
Step
Yeah,
stool.
Weria climbs up on
Stand at
something.
the desk.
Be visible.
Yeah.
And so we're travelers. We were led here by one of our comrades. Well, she looks at Elias and then shrugs and says, "Association with the Raven Queen."
I
And
was
Showing her the
very
bracelet.
specific for the first time ever.
and she was very specific for the
Specific
first time ever.
ever.
And we are seeking answers to questions that in some cases we don't know the question yet, but
We thought that tower lost centuries ago.
Oh, it definitely was.
No,
I mean, it was.
definitely
That-
lost.
that is fair. It was covered in a very strange substance.
Still is. You should come take a look.
Yeah.
It took some effort to get in, but we had some information that it might be useful, so we
Yeah, even
made the effort.
Even with magic blades, it's difficult to cut through that.
Leah's just. Sorry.
I see you have encountered that lovely substance as well. Yes.
Oh yes,
Um,
indeed. It covers
How-
half the forest.
How is
Leah-
anyone
Oh,
still
good.
here?
I mean, we did hear rumors that there were survivors.
Yes.
You know,
A
not-
number-
Not what I
number-
expected.
A number of
Never mind.
children of Telyana have survived and have taken refuge in the shadow.
Yes.
So
The city is locked on this side.
Leah's gonna kind of just like step forward and just say, so first of all, you are aware of the current date, which is a relief. You say there are survivors from Teliana?
A
Yes.
few. Not as many as before. The shadow is not a forgiving place. And she's sort of looking at you a little funny.
From our current position, which direction do we need to go to where you are?
You see her turn around, and she says something in that sort of odd speech pattern. And one of the other elves sort of pulls out a parchment from his backpack or his pouch or something, hands it off to her, and she kind of unrolls it and then holds it up to the mirror.
It's a map!
I'm copying it down.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so she points out,
Ooh.
so in the center, actually smack dab in the center, you can see sort of a rectangle that's been crossed out.
Take it that is
your
where we
position.
are.
To the west, in the remains of the forest that still stands, is the tower that they are currently.
Oh, so like.
Okay.
To the
I
western
can't
tower.
ping
To
it
the
because it's
western
not.
Yeah, it's a
tower.
picture.
Yeah,
We know
I
what
can
you
see
mean.
it.
Yeah.
It's
One
the
on
So
the left.
basically,
The rectangle is the
back.
west.
go back across the river and follow it the other direction, basically.
The boundaries of the forest are shrouded in mist, and they've never been able to leave.
So wait, they've not been able to leave their tower? Is that what you're saying?
No. They've never been able to leave the forest. Most of them haven't tried. I mean, we have done everything that we could simply to hold back the tide of the corruption.
I understand exactly what you mean. I come from a place that we simply call home, but it is the place where centuries ago those that fled Teliana came and settled. And
when
we have
you say that, she has this sort of look of disgust on her face.
we have Leah's just taking note of it, but just we have been doing our share of fighting back the corruption on our end of the forest as well.
It has spread beyond the forest. We thought we had it constrained. It does not enter the mist, and we have held it back at the river.
You said it does not enter the mist?
Different.
No.
I think perhaps the corruption you speak of. There's a other corruption beyond what you see here.
There's a difference between
Leah,
what you're fighting here and the strays that get through.
Yeah. She looks at Leah. Leah, what we saw when we were at home was nothing like what we're seeing here.
It's the tip of the iceberg. So
I'm aware of that.
Well, I know, but my point being that is why she thinks why there might be some confusion about. Yes, it does not.
It all comes from the same place. Doesn't really matter.
Yes, that.
Yeah.
We are both fighting things that come out of the forest and fighting to hold them back.
I mean, I wasn't talking about the forest, but sure.
She's not like she's just kind of like okay. Points kind of at the center top of the map, and you can see there is a very hastily scratched symbol that is vaguely reminiscent of the badge that you wear. I haven't thought of like a really cool looking, but I'll get there eventually. Which represents Teliana, which is at the edge of a lake that's fed by the rivers from the mountain. The whole center area, that's that sort of dotted rough patch.
That's the flesh stuff.
Yes. Yeah, that is the corrupted influence of whatever. They don't know. It's
I'm gonna
information and details have been lost in the centuries since they fled the city, and have largely lived in the Shadowfell, occasionally venturing into the plane in various areas that are where the connection is weak.
Any idea what else we can expect to run into out there?
If you've survived this long, then you've seen already some of what there is to be expected. She describes the little ones. She describes the big ones. She describes the psychic ones.
I'm more interested in whether or not there's eyeball ones at this point.
They haven't
Eyeball
been seen-
ones.
Yeah. Beholders, yes.
Yeah.
They
Yes.
haven't been seen in quite some time.
Okay.
But the ones that she had recently described, she says those are more recent. Long ago, our ancestors spoke of fighting beholderkin, illithid, and the like. But it's been only somewhat recently that other creatures have emerged. Strange, corrupted beings. I'm not sure what prompted them or what happened or when they started coming, but it is relatively recent compared to all of the other monsters. And there haven't been encounters with illithid or beholders for quite some time.
Except the one in the
Until now.
basement.
Yeah, except the one.
Until now. Which one?
We
Oh, it was
Had
old.
one locked up.
It was very, very,
very
very
old.
old.
Yes,
Still
I've,
surviving Mind Flayer.
It's dead now,
Oh,
and it's
dead.
dead.
They-
very dead.
they had trapped
Very
it
dead.
in the basement of this outpost, and it presumably killed the last survivors in here. And now it is dead.
Very dead.
And then it got back up,
Twice
and then
dead.
it died again.
Died again.
And now it's really dead.
It is most complicated.
Yes.
Have you seen any other signs of outsiders before this?
Over the years, on rare occasions,
Down.
there have been treasure seekers. More often than not, we find what is left of them, or their flesh is corrupted and turned into horrific creatures. But with Leah,
Yeah, Leo was just going to say, have you ever seen anyone that looked like me?
yes, a while ago. Someone from that place that you do call home.
She's just going to hold up her necklace. Was she wearing this by any chance?
Yes, where did you get that?
From a dead guy.
I think it was a revenant.
Yes, yes, but she was my mother.
Yeah.
I was very young, and she disappeared.
She came. She said that the Wild Mother had told her to help raise the spirits of the forest to help fight against the corruption.
Yes.
She came and brought magic and power that was more effective at fighting these creatures than we had seen ever. But she went to the city and has not been seen in some time.
But there's a chance she's still alive. Nobody's seen proven otherwise, right?
No.
I know the chances are slim, but
I don't think they have a way to check.
Yeah.
but that means that there is a possibility that
She was fierce. If anyone might survive, it may be her.
I hope so.
We have survived living on the edge of shadow for hundreds of by being practical, by being safe. This dead one that you spoke of,
Yes.
were they astride steeds of black, dressed in the
Yes.
armor?
Mm-hmm.
Old Tiliana, yes. They keep their distance and do not come near.
Yeah.
But they fight against the corruption and have played a major role in keeping the flesh from overtaking the entirety of the.
What doth we call thee?
I'm Estes. I've typed it in because elf words.
Yeah.
That name sounds familiar. Why does that name seem familiar?
I haven't used it before.
Okay.
I mean, it's
alike.
well, it also sounds similar to a fairly common name. So,
Yeah, it's true.
like, I knew an Elsbeth.
Hmm.
Also, I definitely heard Estes the first time you said that. I was like,
I mean, yeah. I was like, it's kind of similar to like Sibboleth, but
Hmm. I've heard it somewhere else. That's because sworn I'd heard that before.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's might have.
it's elfy sounding.
yeah.
It's an elfy sounding name.
It's like the elf version of my name. My name was an elf name.
Yeah, no. Yeah, she does use the for our shepherd to describe your mother. That was the name that they gave her. She just called herself as shepherd. Mom and Deal. Which is funny.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Mhm.
So the Elven word for shepherd, which is Leah's mom's name, is Mama Deal.
I was like, it's Mama.
Yeah. Nice.
A little on the nose, but hey,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fight against it.
Yeah, fair. Well,
So, do you often follow your compatriots into nightmarish horrors on?
More often than you would think.
it's
actually.
becoming strangely
It's a
fun,
thing.
actually.
Katana doesn't say anything.
We're just sort of.
About dragging them into this. Thanks for just.
I mean, we could have stayed
Right on
behind,
the edge.
Elias. You didn't force
You
us.
could have.
I met them while they were already on their way. I act as, I guess, their guide, and
It is
as
most
I'm sure
appreciated
you
that
figured out, do
you all
have
came.
my
I don't know
own
if anybody's
motivations.
qualified
But
to be a guide for this
Yeah.
place.
I think how you and I define qualified might be different.
She's as qualified as anyone can be.
Yeah.
Your help has
That's
been
what I'm
most
saying.
appreciated, Leah.
More qualified than any of us.
The tribe does call me their pathfinder. So my mother was our shepherd, and hopefully she's still there.
You are faithful of the Raven Queen, then.
Me?
Sort of referring
Or-
to Elias.
Okay, I was like, hey, I was like,
Yes, I was like, no, it's just me.
Yeah.
says the person in plant armor, like, Wild Mother, what?
No, you're kind of broadcast loud and clear.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, huh? Okay.
Yes.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna get water.
For better or worse, yes.
My lord is her cleric.
And she sent you visions to come here.
You're very quiet.
Yeah,
And
you're very
she
quiet
sent
in
you
here.
visions to come here.
Yeah. Yeah.
To accomplish
The
what?
trees. Sorry?
To accomplish what?
Your guess may be as good as ours at the moment.
I don't know. Deal with the corruption. That she has not been very specific on. Just very go that way.
Find the tree.
I had dreams about a tree, and there was burning, and then there was like shadow coming, out from it, and
Does this
It
makes
has
any
been a
more sense to you?
generation.
lots of real.
It has been a generation since there was last one who was devoted to the Raven Queen, who could speak with her in a way that you describe. Those of us who are left don't have that gift.
I feel like gift is a strong
Is it a
word.
gift? Yeah.
Gift is a strong
Quick
word.
question, Brendan.
Sure.
I know you, back when Leah first joined all this, I know you told me basically some interpretation-ish things.
Uh-huh.
Is that things that Leah actually would know just based on her information, or like would the Wild Mother have like kind of explained, mostly just with the tree?
So it's probably a lot of it still left open to your interpretation, other than just the general sense of like there's corruption and
Yeah.
go take care of it kind of thing.
Yeah.
And feel comforted in the knowledge that your path is before you, and you will are very confident, and you have faith in the Wild Mother that she will be sure to let you know what your path is.
Okay. I
As
was
much
just
as you forge your own,
yeah.
this whole like the
Oh,
Wild
yeah.
Mother like sending you on a quest is kind of new.
Yeah. I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember if it was actually.
No.
Also, again, curious. You said. Let me pull up this map again here.
Sure.
Nah, go away. Sorry. Said there was a lake somewhere, or was it a river?
It's a lake. The city was on a lake.
Okay. Is that because in my notes somewhere, and I don't remember if that was just me that you told, or if that was actually a thing that we all had learned, but you gave me the name of a lake.
Does it?
Mythal, I think.
Oh, so there was basically
Or a pool, I guess, maybe not a lake.
Yeah, so there was a large, basically almost like a pool. I mean, the city was on a lake, but it was a pool of sort of magical. I'm kind of cribbing a little bit off of Warcraft elf lore here, in that they have a wellspring of this magic power that is a source of power for them. That sort of always appeared to reflect the moonlight, even even during the day and that sort of thing. Just sort of very silvery pool. It was a font of magical energy, and basically the powerful of the city controlled it. That kind
Okay. Anyways, this is what happens when I do go back through my notebook, and I'm like, oh yeah.
There were things there.
There were things.
I need to go back and watch them. I don't know. I was to deal with the whatever happened in Liana somehow. Was not given super specific instructions on the point.
Yeah, the only time that you've described the Raven Queen as being specific was go downstairs and kill the mind flayer.
Well, it wasn't
Yeah.
go downstairs and kill the mind flayer. It was
It was
answers below.
Right, there will be answers below,
Yeah.
but still, it led us to go downstairs and kill the mind flayer.
yeah.
Whereas interpreting that to mean it is worth going downstairs and killing the mind
Yeah.
flayer.
To this
Yeah,
point,
there
we
was-
have simply been attempting to find as much information about Taliana as we can and how to get to it.
I mean, she kind of like holds the map up again and kind of points to it. It's like you can forge your way through, but it would not be easy.
Has
None of this
anything
hath
up to
been.
this point been easy?
Nope. But
I would have been surprised if it suddenly was.
There are paths through the shadow. There hasn't been anyone who has gone to the city on this side, on the shadow side, for some time. But
Cattails.
Kristen has turned into a cattail.
Morgan, get your butt out of my camera. Don't do that.
that is definitely there are two paths.
Yes, we have been given this choice before.
yeah.
Is
So I
one
guess that's what it
any
comes down
easier
to,
than
is
the
do
other?
we Go
Yes.
through the
It's
shadow
either
or do we try to?
more haste.
If you wield power that lets you pass through that corruption, the flesh.
Looking to Aiden.
Yeah, I'd be like,
I mean, mostly he just hacked through it.
just kind of yeah. He just cut
He-
through it.
Cut through it. With what?
Magic sword.
I was on a broom. He cut through it with a sword.
Yeah.
It was a thing.
Aiden is blank and unresponsive.
And he's not going to talk about it because he's Aiden.
Presumably magic.
Do you have more of these weapons?
No.
That would be useful.
Nope.
Mumadil had a blade that was similar.
Who?
Who was that?
The shepherd.
Oh.
To use
Oh, okay.
Elven word
Oh,
for-
my-
I couldn't understand what you were saying. I was like,
Umadil,
I heard like
who's Umadil?
I heard Moo Deal, and I was like,
It's mom and
Lumen.
I totally mispronounced it because I can't speak Elvish.
that's okay.
That's fair. That's fair.
So
What kind of blade was it?
Yeah.
It was nothing of anything that we had seen before. It was not forged by elves. Or by
What
her
did it
people.
look like?
Yeah.
Dual metal, but sometimes when it would catch the light, it would almost have a multi-hue color. Like the shell of a pearl.
What
Or
was the
like
last?
the X-Files box behind Wuria.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, kind of like that whole thing, like when you have your...
That's not actually X-Files, but
Yeah.
Oh,
It's different.
it's
I thought it was
X-Japan. It's a Japanese Bitten Brock band.
Yeah.
okay.
It does look like the X-Files logo though for
It-
the
a
year.
little bit.
It
It
does
kinda
look
does.
similar. Technically,
See-
that band existed before the X-Files, though.
is it weird that I never once thought X Files? I don't know what the logo looks like, but I was also like, it's Jerusha. That's
It's
X.
Japan. Oh,
It's
absolutely.
X Japan. Like, what else would it be?
She describes a metal similar to the thing that your
Yep.
the
The
shard
box. Yeah.
attached to the blade hilt that you have. It was
What was the
No,
last
it was-
place you saw her? This
she went to the city.
She went to Taliana. And
following
haven't-
what path?
She took a contingent of our warriors. It was an attempt to get into the city. She said that the Wild Mother had tasked her with...
Show me on the map where she departed from.
and
Leah's just eyeing Aiden like, why are you so interested in my mom? Like, we're going there. I'm looking for her too.
Yeah.
Calm down.
um,
Not saying it, but just giving him this look of like,
What is this intensity?
yeah.
gestures sort of in an area north of that western tower. She says that there is a veil between the shadow and this plane in that region. And she left from there trying to make her way along the as much as possible, skirting the corruption. It was not nearly as expanded as it was back then, this far west. But she had never been heard or seen from again. And their last cleric had gone with her. And
Over at Aiden, be like, I take it that route.
Thank you.
Take.
And the only
Hmm?
and their only other magic users are less experienced arcane wizards who certainly don't have any power to scry or teleport or anything. And they've held on to the tower that they're in for some time and have used it as a sort of a base of operation. But not in 800 or 900 years have they ever seen anybody in the mirror. They had been to the tower, but had never been to get through the flesh. Just it healed too quickly for them to dig their way through.
Well, we just seem to be full of surprises, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Suppose we have the path now.
Thank you for the information.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is much appreciated.
If you do have a blade or something like that, she sort of kind of like looks back, says something. Okay. Then perhaps you might come here first. If only that if you do wield a power that can be used against these creatures, we might be able to. I have no hope of striking at the heart of them. Perhaps pushing back against some of the corruption that has moved this far. Any further, and I fear that they'll reach us into the shadow.
Well, it is on the way.
An alliance then?
It would seem that we have the common enemy.
Can I don't know, get even just kind of a general read on her from this side of the mirror?
Go ahead and make an insight check.
All right. I'm real good at that. Let's see, now that I've said that.
Now you've said that, you're going to roll bad, right?
Okay. Oh, that's good. That's 26.
Ooh.
So she and the other elves have this sort of very hard edge to them. They have lived a life of survival. These are not anything like those elves that you encountered.
I have to imagine, would it be at least a little similar coming from Vasselheim?
Yeah.
Which is also it's kind of like right on the edge of the. That's
yeah. It's always there's always this there's a constant sense of readiness, and you get a very sort of exhausted vibe from her. Kind of very Furiosa, Mad Max kind of thing. And so someone coming with a weapon that can like kill these things is like, then that would help something, but no sense of like come here so I can kill you and take
Yeah.
it. Like, you're not picking up on a sort of a anything like that. But you know.
Go to the west then.
No reason to believe this is a trap.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's on the way, and
But
we'd be happy to help if we can.
Hmm.
You should perhaps get some rest and, well, do I have any sense of what time of day it is? I mean, we've been inside this tower, so, like, probably not.
Yeah.
It's probably been a couple of hours since you came in here, and you got here midday, so it's probably late afternoon-ish.
Wish to continue or perhaps stay here for
Are the
night at
wards
least.
still intact on the tower?
The wards?
some of them.
Most. One was
The one down below was.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how it would keep that creature
Yeah. That one.
contained. Yes.
I mean, I guess
Isolated
it still
from
is. We could.
Hive.
You cut in and out a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, I said. I guess it's still.
Yeah, I mean, because the towers have magical wards on them to isolate and keep things hidden and protected from outside and external forces. But their tower had been breached and damaged long ago, and so it was not really much use. So there may be some use if that tower still has its magical wards intact. They could
The
use that
interior
to-
walls were still mostly intact.
One of them not?
Maybe we had to get through.
I think we might have had to get through.
I mean,
Yes.
I don't think we encountered any coming. It was just once we
Not-
got inside.
yes, there was not the outdoor one, but the one that we had to
Yeah,
get
we did
into
have-
this room,
We did have to
Yes.
we had to
Up.
break one of them.
break one, but
Or
Yeah.
dispel it, I guess.
We came from
Have one.
above.
yeah,
That's unfortunate.
we ran into several traps.
Well, and even if we'd come from below,
Too
that
many traps.
still might have been closed. So
Mm.
Yes, you likely would not have been able to
Yeah,
come in from below the tower. The bottommost chamber is the most fortified. But
Yeah.
We noticed that.
these creatures, they can get inside your mind, infiltrate, turn friend against one another. A place that would be safe from the mental prying would be a boon. When one who has been corrupted is separated from the others, they often become distressed. And it is one of the few ways that we have of detecting. But once they are free, then they can connect with the others. They're not as intelligent as mind flayers, but they all seem to be connected in some strange way.
What are they talking about?
The aberrant creatures.
Oh, okay. I feel like you cut out somewhere, and I thought you were talking about mind flayers, so I was like,
Yeah.
wait, I missed something.
They seem to be some strange derivation of the illithid.
Lovely.
What doth they look like?
The ones that she described.
Ah.
The ones that you had fought so far.
Oh, the little ones that messed
Yeah.
with. Okay, gotcha. Want to make sure
Yeah.
it was those.
Little ones.
No, different one.
Yeah,
okay.
they all seem to have sort of like the big ones are really dumb. There are those that are the little ones that sort of warp sort of reality and have that sort of confusion or not confusion aura, but
It's a weird synesthesia aura thing.
Yeah, synesthesia.
Exactly.
Yes, we have fought some already.
And let's see. So she describes the three, but there's another one. Let's see here. Yes. They are the most powerful. They're spellcasters of sorts.
Of sorts?
Yes.
We fought one of those, didn't we?
Yeah, was it the one that we?
That's the one that got away.
Okay.
No. Those are the ones that are sort of. They are the sergeants, for lack of a better word. They sort of often command and are more intelligent than the others, but no, they're a handful of others. They sometimes take on the appearance of a person, but they are made up entirely of swarms of worms and grubs.
Oh,
That's unpleasant.
Of a person.
What?
They have
When?
powerful magic.
Okay,
What
so they
do
are
these worms?
spellcasters.
What do these worms look like?
Pale. Not the creatures of this plane, but made up of small, like actual like worm-sized worms, but pale, ghostly. They're pretty nasty.
So not like the ones we saw in that Drow's brain, or
Brain worms.
Oh no, that was like a larval parasite.
yeah, these are like smaller things.
Like
Yeah, okay,
actual wormy worm. You know,
okay,
like a swarm that's manifested into a humanoid of sorts.
okay.
Well,
they are exceedingly dangerous.
any
Good to have
tips
any
on how
information.
to fight them? Anything that?
You do not fight them.
Okay, so just stay away from them. All right.
At the very least, I can tell if we run into someone we're suspicious of. I can tell if they're one of them.
Would be most useful. If we must, I have some techniques against spellcasters now.
As do I. I always have, but I do suggest that we not engage in them if we can avoid it. Does not sound pleasant.
No.
The less we have to fight, the better.
I think that's in general probably true.
Yeah.
Trying to add. Give me a second. Trying to post it in a picture in Discord, and it's not cooperating.
It is disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
All right, let's try a different method. Upload.
Link in chat.
Processing.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Good. That's interesting.
Ah.
Those guys.
Oh, cute.
Yes, and
Yeah.
they've taken to wearing a mask like that of the Matron of Ravens as a way of taunting us. They're cruel and exceedingly dangerous.
Well, we'll make a point to avoid them as best we can then.
Yeah. Knowing my luck.
Oh, we'll walk right into them.
Yeah, no, if I look
It's
out,
us.
pointed straight at them.
Elias, knock on
Especially
wood,
if-
please.
I'm not even, especially if they're like intentionally, wearing masks as a mockery of, that's.
A mockery of the Raven Queen. I had my headset
yeah.
off. Oh,
yeah,
fun.
if those masks are like intentionally a mockery of the Raven Queen and her followers.
Elias,
Yeah.
have you ever considered for one moment telling her to fuck off? Just saying.
I do not think that would be a wise decision.
If you want to tell the goddess of death.
What do we say to the goddess of death?
Giggle.
Fuck off.
Why don't I just like giggle? It's like, oh dear.
You hear that?
Poseidon quivers before him.
Apparently, Estes has been translating your conversation.
That is now a card, by the way.
Yes.
Telling the goddess of death to fuck off.
Quote unquote.
Yep.
To quote unquote.
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure you could say, I don't feel like fighting this one in particular right now.
Yeah. I mean, to be completely fair, he's come close.
It is sort of is what it is, I suppose.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Now the information is most appreciated. We have come across very little, so any we can find is better than none.
Lots of things, not a whole lot of information.
Yes. I suppose we shall be making our way to the west then.
Follow
That
the river.
does.
The towers. Once you pass the corruption, not much further into the forest, you'll find tower.
Well, then I suppose we'll be seeing you before too long.
If you move with speed, so there's a little marker, the little at the bottom of the map. That's roughly a day's worth of travel.
Okay.
Okay.
So
It's about 2 days away.
So a couple days.
2.5 days.
Depending on how fast you go and if you're being sneakier. So if you want to be sneaky and not get a bunch of attention, it will take you longer. If you want to go
I'm
faster,
gonna take an early night here and set out in the morning so we don't have to camp out in the forest.
Yes, I feel like now that we know that we've killed the thing in the basement, here sounds better than outside, honestly, yes.
Peeking over at Aiden at that
must.
sigh. Thou art in a hurry again.
Yes, Aiden, you're very impatient, but I'd rather us not deal with those ghosts for one night.
Not all of us regain... Well, yes, not all of us here regain our abilities as swiftly as you and I.
Yes. And trust me, Aiden, if
Point.
anyone wants to find Almondale, it is me, so don't act like you're the only one who has something to gain out of this.
We'll get there.
And if we
But
take
if you want a cleric who is not dead on his feet by the time you do.
All right, I get the point.
Plus, it's already pretty late out, right?
Well, it's like late afternoon, right?
late afternoon, so like we could go out, but like
For a little
bit,
bit,
yeah.
and then have to deal with camp. Cass is gonna go find a corner and sit down and just kind of actually get her short rest in for the moment and pull out her journal and just stop at one page and just stare at it for a while.
Velas is gonna pick a bed that doesn't look too beat up.
I'm gonna go all the way back up to the top
Okay.
and
As everyone's sort of like drifting
keep
off,
lookout,
and the
basically.
conversation is kind of ebbed out a little bit. I'm assuming you're not just like turning and walking away in the middle of it.
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah.
Once they have a ways to go. They need to restock and resupply and bring some wounded home. But they will return to the tower in another day or so to meet you there. But if you get there first, then wait for them.
Wait, aren't they? Oh, so they're leaving the tower and coming back, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, wait, weren't they at the tower?
They're at the tower now. They make regular efforts in the forest to eliminate. She also describes that this stuff spreads by literally growing, basically planting sort of corrupt pods and seeds and stuff, and if those aren't regularly sort of cleansed and burned and excised, sort of like tumors, then the corruption will continue to spread. But it does seem to be stopped by the mist and the river, plus the other the dead ones, as you describe them, often do the same elsewhere in the forest. They try and avoid them though, because ostensibly they are in service to the queen, but nobody likes being around.
That's fair.
Is there a reason otherwise besides their appearance?
Didn't their lead? That's fair. I think their leader also didn't he mention something about trying to atone?
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
Spoke with them.
Yeah. Briefly.
As I said, he's the one who gave me this necklace.
I have not directly encountered them. Occasionally seen them. Seen evidence of their passing. Not spoken with them.
Told you we're full of surprises.
Indeed. But we must leave before it gets too dark. Makes it difficult to see.
That is fair.
Stop.
Okay. You all begin to take short rest. Aiden, you go to the top. Tritanis, you're journaling. What were the rest of you doing?
I don't know.
Nothing too active if you want to take a short rest.
I mean, are we short resting or long resting eventually? Because it seems silly to short rest and then immediately long rest.
That's true.
We're gonna long rest.
That's why I was like,
there's more.
I wanted to, I don't know, try to do some kind of burial or something for this skull to try and let this dude's spirit ghost rest.
I'd say
so he's
once
not
an
constantly
hour.
reliving the moment of death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The spirit seems to have calmed significantly, but it's become kind of unresponsive and just kind of vaguely just kind of following you around and watching what you do. Disappeared for a while during the conversation, came back.
That's sad and weirdly adorable.
Oh.
I'm just being followed around by this sad ghost.
A sad ghost likes to follow you around. Needs to be a card.
Yeah, you could even do a non-magical ritual sort of.
Yeah.
Hey, sad elf! Another sad elf for.
Oh God.
But yeah, that's not hard.
I'd say once an hour I'd like to
And then I'll
just use primeval awareness to make sure nothing's poking around the tower.
Okay. Wait, where'd Aiden go?
I know. stepped
John
away.
has wandered off.
John has wandered off.
I mean, I can probably find him. Yeah, it's
No,
weird
it's
you
fine.
didn't
I just
say anything, but
it's just everyone else was going to be sort of like a quick thing, and his was going to be longer. So I was going to
Yeah.
for him to go to the end because he's going up to go interact with stuff.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Yeah, after that, I'm just gonna find like a quiet spot to.
Yeah, I was like, Leah's not really doing anything
Yeah,
super
we're
active.
just
She's
chilling.
just- yeah.
Maybe
Katas
playing
is
a little
literally
song.
staring at the sketch she made.
Yeah,
of that
I was like,
memory.
if Wiria starts playing a little song, Leah will probably
Yeah.
just join her in that and use that to pass the time.
Actually, if we have enough time to burn here, I think Villas would actually go ask Elias if he wants to play a game of cards at some point during the day.
Sure. Why not?
Not quite as much fun when there's not wine
Fine.
involved, but
Eventually might look over that way and slightly speak up. Velis, I wish to apologize to you. I was a bit crass before about your ways of dealing with the memories of those sorts of creatures, and I spoke out of turn even when you were not here, and having been in a similar position now, I understand a bit better. I suppose I was counting a bit more on the fact that eventually I will not remember any of this. But there are memories now that I doth not wish to forget. And I'm holding on to them as long as I can. But some of them are not so pleasant, and I know they have caused you pain. So I'm sorry for being crass about that.
you didn't know. Don't blame me for that. Those things were people that I knew. A bit more organized back. Oh, why? Froze up.
So you keep cutting out a bit, so it's really hard for me to hear.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
Sorry.
I can't hear you at all.
We're not all super mic'd with nice mics, so we can't speak softly.
Yeah.
My other headset picks up better, but my cat chewed through it. I don't have to yet, so I'm not used to having to use this one. Sorry.
You could always just up the sensitivity on the mic you're using.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hold on.
Discord.
Hopefully that'll be a bit clearer. Maybe?
Good, yeah.
Okay. You didn't know. And I won't blame you for that. These things killed a lot of people. And I hunted them. I didn't like that very much, so they held me captive for a time. If you want to know why I froze up, that's what I said before, but
I can see how that would be most unpleasant is a very bad word for it. I am sorry.
Well, it was a long time ago. Whatever happened then. Here now. I owe it to the rest of you to be here. I won't run again.
Oh.
I'm sorry for that.
Once again, we got better as a team.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. And then I'll pull a couple gold out, toss it on the table to resume the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna look back down at the sketch she drew.
After being in the tower for a while, the fresh question mark air as you emerge from the top, Aiden, is somewhat refreshing. But it's just such a marked difference, especially at this perspective, of seeing just the landscape stretch out for miles and miles, basically almost as far as you can see to the horizon, to the north. Just strange, warped pink and brown, almost like a desolate plain with very few people. And then to the south and to the east, forest. Thickly, but still sort of holding on. But you're up here alone and it's quiet. You hear everybody kind of settling down and Worya clunking away a little bit, humming and maybe starting up a melody. But up here, there's a little bit of a wind, but it is quiet.
I'm just kind of keeping a general eye out, but I also might
Go make a perception check.
busy myself with working on my map that I added some of the details from the other one too as well.
Okay.
Should I roll something?
Yeah, perception check. You're keeping an eye out, so that is a classic perception roll.
What's my modifier? 15.
15?
Yep.
Okay. You sketch sort of like looking down and then looking, making inferences and based on what you saw, and then kind of looking out at what you're seeing. And after a few minutes, you definitely can see it's sort of some motion. The terrain definitely sort of like rises and kind of has sort of like a rolling hill kind of. The further sort of northeast that you go, and there's sort of just ever so gentle slope downwards as you go west. So the where you came from was to the southeast was a higher elevation, and then it all sort of like is a bit of like a valley going north and west. So you're not looking out over these. Is what I'm trying to express.
Mm-hmm.
But what you can see off in the distance, probably maybe not too far out, is sort of first it looks kind of like just like a strange kind of roiling mass, shifting in that flesh. But then you can see sort of almost like sphincter.
I missed about 30 seconds of that.
What?
I missed about
30
5-10 seconds of that. Yeah.
So off in the distance, maybe a mile out, and then amongst some hills, you see some motion catch your eye, and it almost looks sphincter-like in that it sort of opens just the ground, like areas and spots in the ground, and you can see emerging from it are a number of those smaller creatures. At first, there's like just a small handful, but then they kind of continue to keep streaming out, and then another hole opens not much further away from that, in the sort of the side of a hill, and some of the smaller ones begin streaming out from there, and now you probably see a couple of dozen, and they're all making their way roughly in your direction. And then you can see a couple of the large ones, sort of big red hulking ones, kind of, walking amongst a bunch of the little ones. And then a third opens up, sort of on the other side, and a small stream of those start coming, all roughly in your direction.
Which direction are they coming from?
So they're coming from like the northeast, east-northeast. Some of the sort of slow rolling hills in the flesh. I gotta come up with a good word for it. I could just call it creep. That's what's referred to in StarCraft. The Zerg creep, and that's kind of what it is.
Right.
But yeah.
So basically, they're coming from the opposite way that we were planning on going.
Yeah, you were planning on going northwest. They're coming from the northeast. And then one or two, you can see those like large guys emerging. Not the big tall ones, but the psychic blaster ones. Two of those. They seem to be sort of like herding all of the mass that have collected and are moving in direction.
Okay, I'm gonna quickly and quietly go below.
Yeah, you get downstairs and like Velis and Elias playing cards, and everybody's kind of relaxing and hanging out.
We've got incoming.
Of course.
It starts
Incoming
putting away your
what
journal and
exactly?
standing up.
Of course we do. How immediately?
Yeah, they were about a mile away.
About a mile out, yeah.
About a mile or so away. Dozens.
I mean, out of curiosity, are they... I mean, if they're a mile out, I don't know that we can know, but we're in a tower. Are they capable of entering the tower?
Well, we did cut open an opening, so if they can scale it, they can get in.
Yep.
We don't have any idea if they can climb it or anything, do we?
And I
I would bet on yes.
You've only interacted with them briefly.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't surprise me if they can.
I guess, did we get a short rest at least in that? Because I didn't hit dice because we were taking a long rest, but
no, not really.
Okay.
It had been basically like 15 minutes.
Okay. Well,
so either we hole up and hope they pass us by, or we head out right now because they are coming from the east, and we'll get out ahead of them the way we were planning to go.
But we'll have to stop at some point.
Will they change things? Perhaps they sense.
So either we bunker down here.
I mean,
or if they're coming to inspect this place,
yes,
we can get out.
Yeah,
we did cause a bit of a ruckus, and
Well, like I said, I didn't know if cutting this stuff was going to alert the rest of them to it.
That's fair.
It's fair. Well,
I mean,
Or, they
maybe
did have somebody,
keeping an eye
technically
on-
the mad one downstairs joined the network briefly if we unsealed it.
So.
that's fair. Well, then
we may be better off just getting out of here and.
I guess so.
Yeah. Cthulhu's sysadmin was sending out a squad to inspect that weird router that popped up onto the network briefly.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I know spells that could be used to block off the entrance, but I don't have them ready.
prepared.
I don't have
And
any.
they would
prepared.
simply
I
be.
mean, I would say,
But
the best bet that we have
is
for
getting out.
them not noticing us would be basically sealing ourselves inside.
Yes.
But can we do
Like
that?
sealing ourselves in the basement.
Yes.
Oh, in the basement?
Yeah.
Well, could
But then how do we
Most
get
of the
back
walls
out?
are still in
That
the
is the point.
yeah, we can't really seal ourselves.
Yeah.
Someone would have to stay out.
Yes. And then once again, we would have to deal with them eventually, as they seemeth not to require what we do to survive.
I think getting out of here is our best bet.
Well, then,
We'll find somewhere.
get a move on.
As far as we can. Find somewhere fully looted. Fully pop up the, bubble.
Yep.
Yes, the hot yes.
All right. Well, let's move.
Alright, let's go.
Right.
Okay.
Start gathering.
Quickly.
Do you go out the front or do you go out the top?
Well, I basically I put a slash
poked a hole
through
in
it on the front. Yeah, I poked a hole in it just so we knew where it was on the outside. I didn't actually take time to cut out the doorway.
So we'd have
That's
to,
why I was asking. Are you
like
going
a
to
gross
do
tent
that?
flap.
Yeah.
I feel like that would. I mean, we cut a giant hole in the top already,
Yeah.
It's true.
so might as well quickest exit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just go down the opposite side of where they're coming so that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, let's go.
To cross that river, whatever again.
No.
Yes.
Wait, do we?
You could go. You could cross the
Eventually.
river here.
Oh.
We would
Yeah.
want to. I mean, depends on how long we want to traverse flesh terrain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
Just
we want
immediate
to-
scrunch of the nose.
Yeah.
We want to traverse flesh
Uh,
terrain longer than absolutely necessary.
Yeah. You ever been to a bounce house?
Oh.
You made it worse.
Here we
Wow.
go. Wow.
That is
Not quite
Drake.
solid.
I don't have any.
Just
I need more
some of
wine
it's,
for this. Damn
really
it, Brendan.
spongy. Yeah, it's spongy and giving. Some of it's a little bit rougher, but it's definitely difficult terrain.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, they're a mile away.
Yeah,
how
let's
long-
go
Yeah.
down,
Okay,
cross the
let's go.
river.
Yeah.
They looked like they were moving at speed. Like they weren't sort
Okay,
of
so we need to
meandering,
go.
but rather they were
Yeah,
emerging.
they're coming in with purpose.
I feel like we're
Okay,
having this
we need to go.
conversation while we're
Like,
heading
yeah,
up.
while
Yeah.
we go.
Let's go shooing people.
Yeah.
Like, we can talk while we move, people. Come on.
Yeah.
So you go up to the top, and then
And then,
Yeah.
we'll
Go to
go ahead
climb
and
down?
cross the river now, because...
I could also climb
Yeah.
down.
okay.
This
I mean,
time.
I have climbing gear, so I can make it easier.
yeah.
Where you can take somebody.
Yeah, you can take a few moments to get everybody down. You could go quickly, or you can go slowly and take your time. Or I mean,
Well,
go
we don't
slowly
want to.
and
We
do
definitely
very
don't want to
quick
leave a
as well.
trail.
Yeah.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
choice is quick and risk getting hurt, or slow and be safe. Those are the two options.
I say we get back across the river to the forest. At least try and
Yeah.
get within the tree line.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
with whoever wants to broom with Wiria, I can invisibility on the two of us, and we can keep an eye out while this is all going on.
Who's
Which
the
might
least
be-
coordinated?
Or the least likely to be able to climb.
I mean,
It
Leah,
would
but
be-
Leah.
You can't take Leah.
she's also huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leah can't
Leah
come.
would be
so-
able to climb down very readily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elias
Like,
would be the
I could
second
really
one.
climb.
Or no.
I mean,
Climbing is not-
Well, if we're
not
talking
a lot
about just
climbing.
climbing
not
down,
automatic.
that I
Elias
can
is
do
the least
fine.
stealthy.
Mm.
Velas is the
But-
least able to climb down.
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel
will
like I
set up
am.
a rope.
Actually, yeah, Leah is the least stealthy.
I have a +0 and disadvantage on stealth rolls.
Elias is the least stealthy who can fly on the broom with Wiria.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's an important detail there. So, I mean, either Elias or Velas, whichever of you wants to. Maggie, Kristen, you're muted.
Yeah.
Sorry. I have a grappling hook that I can just, if I can attach it to the rope while climbing up, I can hook it to the edge of the tower and use that to get down more easily.
Okay, and like Wiria can
Yeah.
unattach it
Mhm.
Yeah.
for you when
Yeah.
you're down.
Mhm.
Okay.
So in
Yeah.
the couple of minutes that it's taken you all to wrap everything up, make your way up the stairs, and start prepping to head down, they've probably passed about half the distance.
They're moving
So
quickly.
we need to run.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they are going
Elias-
quickly.
I mean, I was assuming we were like bolting up the stairs and darting out as fast as
Yeah.
we could, but
Yeah.
That was the goal.
I don't know.
But it's
I
still
feel like
big.
Aiden was in. I don't know. He sounded like panic, have to
mean-
leave. So yeah.
But yeah, so
It
but
still would
Elias,
take- yeah.
if Velas can grappling hook his way down,
Mhm.
why don't you ride with Wiria? Why doesn't Elias ride with
Okay.
Wiria? That means we only have one like person with pretty
Yeah.
crappy stealth.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm like Leah. I feel like is
Let's go.
honestly not worried about being stealthy right now. She is just like
Yeah.
run.
Yeah, going.
Yeah.
So
we
those
just
of
need
you
to
who are
go.
climbing, go ahead and make a strength athletics check. Climb down.
Is that
Do
including
it
the
in
grappling
nature
hook?
of-
If you're
Yeah, with using rope.
you're going to have advantage.
I mean,
Okay.
who's not using rope, or is that only Velas is using rope? I don't know.
I mean, we're setting up the rope for everybody.
okay.
Why would you not?
I was just making sure.
I'm gonna
I
go
didn't
with
want to assume it.
Well, that's a flat roll of natural
Or
one. So
Before
Good.
I cast resistance
have-
on. I'm casting resistance on Velas
Okay.
just as a preemptive,
Uh,
just in case this
Okay.
goes badly.
After you do,
I rolled a
cast,
10.
cast invisibility on Elias and Wiria so that we can stay up, release the grappling hook, and get out of there without being seen.
I rolled a
Natural
10,
20.
but that's a -1, so that's a 9.
That's fine. You just,
I rolled a natural 1, and altogether it's a 9.
Was that with advantage?
Oh.
Wait, with
Yeah, that's
advantage?
what I was
I
saying.
rolled a 10 and a
No,
3.
it's a
advantage?
flat roll because I'm at exhaustion.
You just need
Oh.
to not get
Ow.
below 5, and you're fine.
Okay.
It's
Maybe
so
we
it's
should cast it
athletics
on
with
the
advantage,
advantage.
right?
Because
Yes.
you have a rope,
Yes.
and it's
Okay. I
It's a
just
straight roll. For
there's
Aiden.
been a lot of things going on, so I just want to make sure. Then so yeah, I got 26.
as long as nobody who's climbing down gets under a 5, you are fine.
Oh, good.
Aiden.
That's impossible for me.
It's impossible for me.
Yeah, it's
to get
impossible.
under a 5.
Yeah, I
like
was
I
like,
said,
I have
I
a
got a
+7
9 and
to
I rolled a
athletics.
natural 1.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Just the circumstances are, I mean, outside of like the top that you cut off, there's still like the flesh and it's not like smooth skin. It's like warped and stretched like taffy and that sort of thing. So there's lots of footholds and handholds. It's just saying if anyone who would not have a big bonus might have rolled and fallen, but they didn't.
Mhm.
So you get down after a few rounds and get down to the ground level. Ruria and Elias being up on the broom and having a higher view of everything, you can see that they are making a steady pace towards the tower.
How far is it to the river thing that we have to cross then? I
A
forgot.
few dozen feet.
Okay.
We
I mean,
run.
we're just bolting for it, right?
We run.
So yeah, I was gonna say, Leah, remembering what happened last time, she's running, and as soon as she hits, what far across is it? Remind me. Is it less than 30 feet?
Yes.
Okay. As soon as she hits the edge, she's misty stepping to the other side. She's just like, nope.
Nope.
That's fair. That
She
is
fell in
fair.
last time. Not doing that again.
Good choice. Good life choices.
Yeah, I will
Nope.
probably bar step as well.
Not even
I
trying.
got nothing.
Yeah, Leah,
nothing
Leah
for that.
and Aiden basically just vamp across the other side of the river. And Kratos and Velis are just kind of like... There's still quite a bit of viscera and goop left in the river that's sort of just kind of like... It's almost like think of like a film that is kind of like stuck to the bank of the river, and so it hasn't quite drifted off with the very gentle current that's there.
Oh, wonderful.
But it's like a sort of like a skin. Like a lot of these things that just kind of drifted together to form like a something on the surface. It's pretty nasty.
There's no rocks or anything to hop across anywhere.
Not anymore.
I'm just gonna go for it. I'm just gonna go for it.
Athletics check to swim across the river.
Yeah, this is gonna be terrible.
Actually, that's a 15.
Yeah,
I
it's
rolled
not
well.
moving quickly.
12.
And it's not particularly bad. A 10 and a 12 is more than enough.
Okay.
However,
I had a 15.
I do need both of you to make Constitution saving throws.
Yeah.
Water that you're trying to like swim without like getting any of it.
Oh,
on
no.
you.
Yeah, ouch.
I rolled I had a D4, right? Not that it matters.
Resistance, is that saving throws?
That's a 9.
Resistance is saving throws, yeah.
3. Okay.
9, yeah.
Okay.
Well, they're sick.
So you both make it across. Is that a state? Is that a thing? A condition?
Sickened?
Sickened, yeah. I'm looking for it.
They're both something.
Let's see.
Poisoned would probably be the closest.
Or
Yeah.
disease.
Yeah.
Is disease the thing?
Diseased is
Yeah.
Disease is the thing, yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
thing.
disease is a thing, but not a condition.
Right. It's not a condition with a sex on. So I would say that you're both. It's not. Say, because nauseated used to be a condition back in the day. But I would say that you're both effectively once as you get across. But I'm. Wait, you both got. So you got like a 4, Velis.
I got a 3.
You got a 3, and then you guys just got less than 10, Cortana?
Yes.
Okay, so Elias, I'm going to need you to make another athletics check, but this time at disadvantage as you're swimming across, because she kind of just like, oh, it's in my nose, you got like some in my eye, and she swims across. You actually got like a whole gulp full of the stuff.
Oh.
Fun.
And instead inhaled water.
And instead of like, yeah.
So at
inhaled water.
disadvantage, that's a 5.
Okay. So you're.
I rolled.
Alright.
You're kind of like doggy paddling in the water, coughing, and Velis is kind of stuck in the middle of the river at this point.
Oh no.
I can jump off the
How
bridge.
far?
I can go
How
back and
far out
get
is
him,
No,
but
yeah.
I can try.
About
But
10 feet,
Okay,
10 feet in.
10 feet in?
Yeah.
Leah's reaching out with her glaive. She's holding the sharp end,
there you go.
by the way.
Okay.
And
Oh.
because it's a 10-foot reach and she's tall.
Right.
So she's just going to hold it out and say, grab on!
Go ahead and make another athletics check, but you don't have to make it at disadvantage because you're getting help to
Thank you, Leah.
pull yourself out.
I was like, I have a long weapon.
Oh my god, Alice!
What's that, Velis?
That's a natural one.
Oh my god!
Okay. As they watch this insanity, Elias,
Velis was
drops
like,
Elias
reaches
off
out for
on
it
the
and
other
just...
side of the river, and like,
Velis is now under the water.
Oh no!
oh,
Can I go back and get him?
I would say, why don't, I've got the higher strength modifier.
Yeah, by far.
Yeah, so why don't I drop Lyria off?
I don't think both you and Velis can be on the broom together. The
You
only
know.
reason someone can be on the
Okay.
broom with Wiria is because she is so small. So otherwise I would do that, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back for him, because I can at least still swim.
Okay.
And I'm probably the closest one to him at this point still.
Before she does, Leah's got rope in her bag, I'm sure.
I mean,
it's
I was
back.
about ready to just jump off
I was
the broom.
I was just gonna say,
into
can
the
Leah
river.
quickly just tie a rope around Cortanis
All of
before
us trying to
Cortana
save
stops it.
To me,
Velis.
yeah.
Right.
Don't drown in the
Drowning
viscera,
rope.
Velis. Oh my god.
And Leah's gonna hold the other end of this
This
rope
is not how I want to make a new character, guys.
Yeah, right.
because we don't need to lose
That's just
both of them.
embarrassing.
The icky
Yeah.
stuff is mostly just on the surface. Down underneath is actually relatively clean, so to speak, because
Okay.
it all sort of floats to the top. But yeah, Velis is just sort of
Yeah.
Really bad at
I'm going
swimming.
down after him.
right. Okay. Okay, so what's your Constitution modifier, Velis?
0.
Okay. Oh, interesting. So yeah, you're
Actually,
you're
so
struggling in the
all of
water,
those.
but you're holding your breath.
I forgot about my. Technically, for saves, it's +1 because I forgot about my ring, and I wasn't adding that. But they were all so bad it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, you were getting really bad.
You were screwed either way.
Terrible.
I forgot about my ring.
All right.
Okay.
Please let me try to grab onto him because oh my god, Velis.
Yeah, you're struggling, but you're just you don't have a lung full of air, so you're not really buoyant, and you're struggling because you're every now and again you almost like have to hack and cough, and sort of you swallow in water, which makes it worse. But with rope, with everybody kind of swimming in to come get you, they can easily pull you out. But each person that goes in the water, I need you to make a constitution.
I think it's just Cortanis, and then
I think it's just Cortana's.
Leo was on
Okay.
on
I
land
mean,
with the rope.
Leah's holding the rope, and she would probably, if Aiden's there, just say, "Help me reel them out." Like,
Yeah, just to see if you get affected, because you're trying not to.
As they are we still in the air? Because
Yeah.
I think I said
I'm assuming, yeah.
yeah. I mean, unless
be going in the water after Cortanis.
I mean, yeah.
Are you going to just like hop off the broom and splash down?
I mean,
Don't be
I
dumb.
don't, like
Yeah, don't-
if he's been dropped off, then just kind of like wading in.
Like, yeah, Cortanis is
Okay.
already wading in.
He was already in the water in
But
the
I
first
guess that's what we
place,
need to
so
decide, like,
You're already
Are-
affected by it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say
yeah, like if Elias has been dropped off already, then yeah, he's
I mean-
just kind of wading in a bit.
so you can
I
just
anyone who goes into the water needs to make a Constitution check. Or I'm sorry, Constitution saving throw. But it's not.
I think
that,
the big question is if Elias would be on the ground to do that.
yeah.
I mean,
If-
in the timing of everything,
We already have like 3 people trying to help.
Yeah.
we're good.
getting
all right.
Velis out is not an issue. But
Yeah.
the more
Yeah.
people that go in
Yeah.
and stir up that water, the more likely to get sick as well.
Yeah.
I was like,
All right.
go ahead.
The only
Seriously.
reason where you would have dropped off Elias, unless Elias like demanded it, would be if she was going to get Velis. So if she saw Cortanis going back in with a
Yeah.
rope, she
Yeah.
would not
Then we're
have
still up
touched
on-
down because
okay.
it makes more sense for them to stay up and keep an eye out.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I thought you weren't dropping him off. Yeah.
No, that was a if Wiria is
Yeah.
going to try to get him, but once he went fully under, she couldn't get him anyway.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
So
And yeah, I was like, Cortanis has a rope, so Cortanis is definitely coming back out too. So
yeah,
Yeah.
like
So
everything's
you-
fine.
You wade in and you dig around and you can pull up Velis sputtering and coughing and gagging. You haven't taken any damage, but you do have a point of exhaustion from the ordeal of
Fair.
swallowing a bunch of water and slipping down underneath.
So the moment they're out of the water
Coughing up.
and like we're starting to run, just half part of her, like for a second, she reaches to her bag, but doesn't actually pull out the cleansing stone because they're trying to move fast. But there's that moment. There is that
Right,
moment.
Okay.
Velis takes about 3 seconds to cough and hack
Yeah.
up the water for a minute and then just puts a hand on Cortanis. Thanks.
Does anyone
And
else
starts
have
running.
2 points of exhaustion?
No.
No, I think I have
No.
one, which actually I should disadvantage.
Okay.
Oh,
That
that's
means
like,
that nobody's speed is half, which is good because you
We're gonna
are,
need that shit.
going to need that as quickly as possible.
Mhm.
So, what I would like, let's see. So, what I would like to start with is because you're going to try and obscure your tracks as best as possible to avoid anyone following. Can I get a survival check from someone?
Leah.
I mean,
How
sure.
about this?
I'm
I
giving
think-
you Leah.
Huh?
Yeah. If you
Yeah, I
have
was like,
dis-
I'm
if-
not
if you're-
disadvantaged, so.
If you're currently
Yeah.
poisoned or have some points of exhaustion,
Or I'm poisoned.
you're not going to be able to help.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was.
You have a disadvantage on your ability checks yourself.
There we go.
Yeah, actually, are either of you actually poisoned? Because I do have lesser repaired.
I think
You're
like, I
still
failed
also
that
have
save.
Sky
so-
on
I mean,
Yeah, they're not.
Okay.
They're
Leah
not
can
poisoned.
just get rid of poison.
Yeah, I was like, I have protection from poison, but I don't think anybody was
You
poisoned.
Not
have your hands.
Ellis and
Your
Katana-
hand.
I have hands too, yes, but
Velas
Velas and
nobody was.
Cortanas have the poison status.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
Every
hear
step
that,
you
but
take,
yeah.
The entire interface jiggles just a little bit, and you hear.
Fine. So yeah, that was not a good survival roll. That's a 10 total.
Okay.
And yeah, if they are both like visibly sick from this, yes, I will use some of my lay on hands
Oh,
to
yeah.
get rid of that for them.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, Leah.
And I mean,
I guess
yeah,
we're keeping an eye out. Though.
yeah, and we're both
We're
invisible,
going.
so if you cast, you lose that
Yeah.
on top of that. So like, yeah, yeah, we're
Well,
keeping
yeah,
an eye
my
out,
lay on hands.
and lay on hands does it.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
keeping an eye out
think-
for anything at all
think
up in the sky.
Just 5. Yeah.
Hold on just a second. Tracy needs something.
Okay.
I'll be right back. Sorry.
So D&D
I
Beyond.
blame my die. I blame my
Oh.
die for that roll because it literally bounced off of my headphones, or not my die, my headphones. It bounced off of my wire. In like my
Oh, no.
wire for my headphones was
No.
draped across my dice box, and it like rolled and hit that, and it was like 4, and I was like,
Oh no.
thankfully I have a +6 to survival. But yeah. So wait, Kristen, did you write
That
down
was-
that quote that Maggie said about like the
Oh, it's on,
family
it's,
thing?
it's on Twitter.
It was on Twitter now.
Okay, I was like, where?
Both
I wanted to
Kristen
know.
and I tweeted it.
Okay.
Hold on.
Because I made a card that is like an abridged version of it, but I just wanted to like see.
What was the full? It was like that was
Hold on.
It's
when
on
someone
Twitter.
asked.
I'll copy the
Okay.
tweet.
Yeah, find
Yeah,
that tweet.
it's literally, yeah, both Kristen and I tweeted it, so it's
Sweet.
it is findable.
Sometimes a family
I'll
is
be right
a
back.
small mama, tall mama, and a bunch of unruly stabby children. Yes.
Yes, that is totally us.
Yeah.
I love it.
Small mom, tall mom, stabby children. Except for Elias, who isn't so much stabby as
There he is.
smite. I don't know.
Smashy.
He can be stabby.
Smashy.
He doesn't. Yeah.
He can be stabby when he wants to be.
He'd be stabby now.
He's necrotic stabby.
Yeah.
Awkward
But
bisexual grim reaper.
Yeah. Well, like I said, even now that
The verb is
he can
stabby.
use martial
Oh, the verb
weapons.
is stab. Well, the verb is forcey, so
The verb
But
is
it's
force.
stabby
Yeah.
for forcey. Like it's stabbing force.
okay.
Yeah.
It's stabbing with its beak.
Yes. Oh, that's fair. Okay, that's fair.
It's just force damage because
Yes.
magic.
Spoopy bird is the best verb.
Boopy
Best
burb is
burb.
best burb. It's true. I took
So,
Haku on a
I'm
hike
really-
today, and I think I managed to tire him out. He's like dozing on the couch.
I'm so glad that Velas didn't drown in that.
Rex,
That would have been
my
terrible.
thing from the con today I brought back. So
We were not going to let Velas drown in the thing.
yeah, no, nobody's gonna. I was saying like our thing is apparently clamoring over each other for self-sacrifice for each other. That's our thing. Right? It's so nice. I got so many dice, Rex. So many. Holy shit! Like,
How was
they're
Conman?
all shiny. Yeah, it was great. Did some doctoring today, so.
I saw the picture, yeah.
Yep. And I got a lot of dice, and I got a lot of enamel pins, and I got that die, and
All right.
got gifts for people. Okay.
Okay. Sorry. Tracy. She was actually gone.
Oh.
and I was looking for her, but she had left to go do a thing with children and food and stuff. I think
But
she
yes,
had asked
see.
about whether or not I thought she was still here. Okay, so you were all attempting to move through the forest. Bellis and her description of her ranger abilities are gone. Or Kristen is gone. Bellis. Pronouns are
I'm not gone.
fine.
She's still around.
Oh, she's still around. Okay.
On voice,
so,
yeah.
Yeah. If you're going to try and move stealthily through the forest, you're going to be moving at a slower speed. In order to continue to move.
Do we have an idea of how close they are on us at this point?
With Elias and Bellis going up, and then
Elias and Wiria.
Right,
Yeah.
Wiria. Sorry, my brain is. It's like it's 100 degrees here, and I don't have.
No, that's fair.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally
I mean,
understandable.
So
And my office is west facing, so
yeah,
I'm.
I mean,
no,
Elias and Wiria would make a point or Wiria would make a point because
Yeah.
Elias is not the one steering the broom right now. To fly
This is
down
Wiria's
and
broom.
like, give them FYIs and then fly back up because she's got invisibility cast, so she doesn't want to cast message because that would break the spell.
Right.
She doesn't want either of them to be visible.
Okay. Also, a very important thing to note: the little brooch thing allows you to cast the message spell.
Right.
Okay.
Not like
Good to know.
whisper in an earring and still stay invisible.
Right. Yeah. That's part of why she didn't take it. If it was a magical item that just worked like message, she would have been like, "Give it to me, then I can be invisible."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
I thought about that before I gave it to you.
she does have greater invisibility, but that's not useful for long term.
Yeah.
use.
They're
a minute.
probably so at the rate at which they've been moving, they're probably 2 minutes away from the tower,
Okay.
give or take.
They're moving
few
fast.
We
I
need
might-
to move.
Yes.
I might sort of hand wave it and say a few minutes.
Speed may be best in this situation.
Okay.
Once we get some distance, we can slow down and be sneaky.
So you can all maintain a quick pace. I'm like, I'm just now thinking I should probably hold up the movement this mechanics a little bit sooner. Okay. Okay.
We don't get
so
slowed by difficult terrain.
You aren't slowed by difficult terrain, which would be the 4. But this is not at all. Oh, you know what? I think it's probably because all that stuff is. So what I'm trying to figure out is how long can you move quickly, run, before you start needing to make checks to
Not get exhaustion. Yeah.
not be exhausted. Exactly. That's what I want to look.
Fair.
Okay. Oh, there's so many. There's a lot of them. Okay, 181. Start there.
Okay, who's getting a piggyback?
Yeah, exactly. Someone might be riding on the.
Yeah, there's the broom.
Well, I mean, Elias and Wiria could trade off, but yes, Wiria and Elias
Yeah.
are invisible in the room acting as lookout.
Yeah, so if we're not trying to be stealthy, if someone wants to trade out with Elias, as far as just straight up strength athletics stuff, he's
Could have sworn that this was something.
normally I'm good at like constitution and strength stuff.
Yeah. So we'll just actually. How about this? This is straight up running. So why doesn't everyone make a strength athletics as you are?
Yeah, when we decided Elias was going, we thought we were stealthing. That's why Elias went and not Bellis.
I have disadvantage, right?
Yeah. You.
Why?
What?
Because I'm exhausted.
Yeah, because you went under.
Bellis has a point of exhaustion.
Because you went under. Okay.
So that's a 1, but not a natural one.
Okay. So
All right.
Bellis is having a hard time keeping up.
I may signal for Waria to be like, go down. I'm going to trade out with Velis.
Okay.
He is clearly struggling.
He's having a bad day.
He's having a bad day.
Yeah.
So you can easily. I mean, obviously, Waria. Because you're flying, not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kurtanis and Aiden, what did you get?
12.
Dirty 20.
Okay, that's fine. Leah?
Sorry, what roll?
Athletics.
It's been cut. Okay, I was like, it's been cutting kind of in and out, and I lost track of.
I was leaning a little bit away from.
Yeah, that's when it cuts
probably
out.
Right. I was like, I really did not follow any. I was like, we're running. Got it. No. Strength athletics?
Strength athletics as you run.
Well, that's not a great roll. 9?
Okay. So you're mostly all hampered by Velis, and so you're not slowed down too much at first. But as you continue to run, everyone, I guess now except for Velis and Wuria, and you're continuing to run. After maybe a minute or so of running, Wuria, you see the horde getting close to the tower, and they seem to be, at least at first, stopping there.
Okay.
So you can kind of. I'm assuming you pop up above the tree line and then come down, and you're regularly scouting. So they do stop, but I need everyone to make a Constitution check. So actually, no, hold on. Just Leah, because everybody else rolled high.
Yeah, and Velis is now on the broom with Waria.
Yeah, so do I need to make
you would need to make a strength athletics check.
A Constitution check or save?
Check.
Okay.
Since
12?
Oh, okay, that's good.
Rather than waste another invisibility slot, unless they start to move really in our direction again, she's gonna not recast invisibility, and Elias and Waria are still invisible, but Velis is not.
Yeah.
But if they start to move and she gets concerned that they're gonna spot Velis when they pop up, she will drop the spell, cast the new spell if she's gonna keep scouting.
I got a 19 on my athletics.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I rolled a 12 and a natural 20, so.
Right. So they do seem to stop at the tower. I'll say that I'll still probably. I mean, since you're invisible, you have advantage. And then since you have the cloak, that cancels out your disadvantage, Velis. But if you're sort of maintaining any level of to be able to see the tower and popping up every now and again, only the stealth roll.
Okay.
That's straight roll is a 17.
No,
that's higher than that.
Straight
19.
Advantage stealth 24.
Okay. So you run out. Do you continue on, or are you stopping where you're at? Or let me rephrase this. Are you going to continue to run at a quick pace and stay away, or do you slow down?
I think we should slow down.
Seen them slow down at the tower.
Yeah, I think if they're not coming directly after us, we'll run.
Did they communicate that they've stopped at the tower, or do we all see that?
Yeah, Waria tells. Waria's they're popping up and down to.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't sure.
Actually, since I'm not invisible, I'll just use the message.
Yeah, you can use one of the brooches. So yeah.
Oh yeah, that works. Yeah.
Velis can just.
Yeah, because you're definitely not 120 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Waria's gonna skim the top, so they stay out of range. You know, they stay out of sight most of the time and just pop up to peek. But.
All right.
Okay. All right. So if you do slow down, you have the option of now moving stealthily, which would be at a slower speed. But you would be able to make an effort to cover your tracks and not leave as much of an obvious trail behind.
Yeah.
Just for point of clarification, would Velas need to actually be off the broom to get the advantage of his not getting slowed by difficult terrain? Because if so, I'll hop off the broom now that we're going quiet.
So,
I mean, that's if we want to travel at a normal pace. If we're taking our time, make sure we're not leaving a trail. I don't think that really matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, it does. It does still help because the forest would be considered difficult terrain, and if you're moving at half speed because of the forest, and then you choose to go stealthily, then you're moving at quarter speed. But Velas would allow you by. There is nothing in the description of that ability that says your feet actually have to be touching. It's your knowledge of terrain and the nature that lets
messaging
you
us.
avoid.
Yeah, and you have.
I was like, I feel like I guess so. Yeah.
So
So without that, then I feel like
you know, like you can through your experience you find the optimal path basically that allows you to reduce the effects that the forest would have on your movement.
Okay.
Very abstractly. Okay. So then I'll have everybody make a. Let's see, not Wuria or Velis, but say probably just another survival check from somebody to work on concealing your tracks.
Get it, Leah. I believe in you.
Ooh, okay, that was much better. Natural 19, so that is a 25.
Okay.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah, much
So
better.
Begin to sort of begin to travel in single file. Take very careful, deliberate care to walk single file to hide your numbers. Okay, so having gone into the forest, I imagine you kind of turn to the north and begin to follow roughly at a distance the river.
Guys, do you remember when our worst thing we had to deal with was figuring out if we could give the ancient dragon smut? Those were happier days.
Those were the days.
The days we were concerned about being eaten by a dragon
because we gave it smut.
Yeah.
So after a few minutes, you've moved far enough away that it's getting a little bit more difficult to see any detail about what's going on. Also because the sun is beginning to set behind the mountains to the west, and so sort of a whole line of darkness you can see is beginning to make its way across the valley. So go ahead and make a perception check for me, Wuria.
I'm gonna while we're flying, I'm just gonna use my primeval awareness to determine how close they're following or if they're following.
Okay, that is what is my perception now? That is a dirty 20.
Okay. So based on your primeval awareness and what you can see, Wuria, it seems as if they have. There is a contingent of them that is staying at the tower, but one of those sort of psychic caster ones is leading a number of them following your trail into the forest. And based on your primeval awareness, they're now maybe not necessarily charting this out exactly, but you do sense a number of them moving through the forest, a number of them concentrated around the tower, and then of course there's just that general noise of corrupted sort of creep flesh itself. But currently you're not sensing anything
I'll just say they're still
nearby.
following.
At least
Keep
nothing
moving.
that's moving quickly directly.
They're still following, but I don't think they know exactly where we are. So we shouldn't stop yet.
Keep going.
Keep moving until
Definitely.
we can't, as it were.
Okay. So, why don't I get a stealth roll from everyone as you're beginning to move quietly through the forest,
Come on, stealth.
giving a wide berth to the river and the cryptid.
20 total.
Okay.
12.
16.
8.
8.
8 from
23.
8 from John. 8 from Mia and Aiden? Question mark. Yes.
Yes.
You both got 8. Okay.
Oh.
Nice. Okay.
Well, on the broom, they're not seeing us.
Huh?
Yeah,
I'm at disadvantage too, so yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of you are at disadvantage.
Yeah.
I'm just at disadvantage because my armor.
Right. Okay.
I'm always
Um,
disadvantaged.
I do miss Pass Without a Trace sometimes.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, but
It's okay.
that plus whatever to your every saving.
Yeah.
throw,
Yeah,
right?
that-
Just gonna make up for it.
That saves
That's
us
pretty
from
great.
some shit.
Okay. All right. How many uses of the primeval awareness do you have per day, or is it constant?
It's not limited under. The unearthed arcana version is not limited.
Okay. So you
That's not
check it
fair.
regularly.
All of our abilities
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, the official Ranger one is limited, but the unearthed arcana one
Yeah.
is not.
I feel like that's still. I'm like Maggie and I can only use our things
Yeah.
like 3 times a day.
I can do it 5 times a day, but yeah.
Yeah, I forget how many times.
It usually depends on your spellcasting fire.
Uh-oh.
Paladin ones
You're
are
lost to
different.
John.
It's different things.
We finally did it.
Oh, no.
What?
Died.
Internet blipped.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It does that.
So from what you've gathered is that they have followed your trail into the forest, possibly have lost it because now they're just spreading out in small groups in every direction. Well, not every direction, but multiple directions. And there is one smaller group that is headed more or less kind of in the same direction that you're. But from the sensation that you're feeling, they are moving quickly. They're not taking their time to be stealthy. They're just going. And it's roughly in your direction. It's hard to tell exactly. It's not like it's, this is not, air traffic control radar kind of thing,
I'm gonna relay that and just say, if one group finds us, they'll all know where we are. We need to get away from them. They don't
think
know
we
where we
can
are, but
pick up
they're
the
moving
pace
faster
again.
than we are.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the ones who suggested we slow down.
Yeah.
Well, because otherwise they'd be tracking you exactly. Like, that would be
Yeah.
worse.
Also,
Yeah, slowing down
some of
briefly
you
is
were
not a terrible idea.
slowing down and it was noticeable.
I'd say not a
I do not wish anyone to get so
Yeah.
exhausted
I
that
mean-
they cannot go on. That will only
No.
cause more problems.
So are we continuing this way or are we running again?
How much distance do we have on them?
Yeah.
Couple of miles.
I wonder if we can
Maybe
break
start
off
looking
and hide out at this point.
yeah, I was about to say maybe we should start looking for some.
Somewhere to hide. I think that'd be best.
Agreed.
Any creepy skull caves?
Yeah.
Creepy skull cave.
Honestly,
Did you need
that's
to remind
definitely
us
not
of that?
haunted.
Hey.
Hey, there was
Honestly,
some
that
shit in
doesn't
there.
sound like the
Yeah.
worst idea I've heard today somehow.
Just the
That's
most
days and
haunted
days
place
away,
we can
though.
find.
I mean, honestly, well,
Not the most haunted, not after last time. I pray
I
that
don't
you
know
not
what
have to last
direction we'd
time.
be going at this point, but I was like, can we double back to the graveyard? It's like,
It's all ways.
That
Yeah,
would
that
be
one's back.
That's far.
That's a couple hours away, though.
no.
yeah.
So you're looking for maybe shelter or something to maybe hide out in and see
Yeah.
if they can pass. So that sounds like a survival check from someone who is familiar with traveling the wilderness.
Ooh,
Hey, how-
another
Who
good
could
roll.
possibly that be?
That is a what do I have? +6 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you're traveling, you're keeping an eye out for any kind of, and you do actually see sort of a kind of a hidden elf marker leading specifically to kind of like a bolt hole of sorts. And following a few of these additional markers, you find a basically a hollow that is dug out underneath a very large fallen tree, and make your way in, and you can see that this is actually sort of deliberately carved out, and there is a small cave here that is very well hidden.
Nice.
It's kind of like, you know, those thief guild symbols on buildings that you see, like, oh, this place has got good stuff, and then this place is not good. So it's got another elf rune that's just sort of like as a symbolizing kind of like basically hidey
The
hole.
thumbs up.
basically.
Yeah, right.
Stay here, please.
So it is very well hidden, and you could probably make some attempts at hiding it further if you like.
This feels like that badger hole all over again.
I was about to say, honestly, tis a bit
That was
nostalgic.
nice.
I support
Yeah, that
badger
badger
holes.
hole
Those
was-
that worked very
yeah.
well.
But you can see that once you move in a little bit, it is dug out, and it is sort of hard packed earth, and there may at some point been some like a cache of supplies or something here, but it is long since gone, and it's just kind of empty and barren. There do seem to be like maybe some broken pottery or like a couple of maybe in containers of water or something like that. I'm not sure, but they're long since covered in some dirt and even a couple of leaves and pine needles and stuff that may have blown in here or been carried in here by animals. But this does seem like a safe place to hole up.
Well, perhaps we should try to hide it. I mean, it's already very well hidden, but as best we can, and I'll
more we can
cast
do,
the
the better.
dome as an additional protection. And
Yes. Perhaps the outside should match this as best as possible.
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that. Okay. So it is late. It is 8. And they just came home with dinner, and I took a couple of pee breaks, but we didn't really have a
Yeah,
meal
we
break.
did not have a break.
So this seems like a really good place to
Yeah.
call it for the evening.
Yeah.
Right?
As you've rolled well enough, and they have rolled poor enough to not be able to follow you so far.
Thank you for not using the
Yes.
Eden's die for dice for any of
I
that shit.
thankfully my living wood die rolled a 19 and then an 18 for those survival checks.
Yes,
I was
thank
like, yes.
good living would
Fun
die.
Constitution save. Fuck them.
Yeah.
With Velus's primeval awareness checking in every now and again,
Yeah. That
there
helps.
were a couple of moments where they did get into the vicinity, but they don't seem to have discovered your specific location. However, as you begin to sort of settle in and take maybe first watch, and regularly meditating, there does seem to be a distributed presence, in almost as if they're kind of spreading out like as big of a wide net as they can catch, and just kind of slowly moving about, continuing to search.
Combing the search.
Okay.
Tis a search
Yeah. Well,
party.
I definitely think we make sure to hide this entrance to this place as much as possible.
Yeah.
Maria
Yeah.
definitely does her best. I mean, within the limited ability of a tiny hut, to make the hut blend in,
Right.
so that they're not going to just see a lavender hut.
Right, it's not a bright glowing-
Only
Her
louder.
wisteria,
Beautiful
her
pastel
wisteria
wigwam.
wigwam is otherwise it will be covered otherwise when necessary.
Good shit.
That was some good shit.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
Didn't drown.
Yes, didn't drown.
You're
Thank you for not drowning.
Good job.
Thank you for my not drowning.
Yes, we are glad you did not drown. That would have been bad.
It would have been embarrassing after all that
Also
shit.
been- yeah,
Fucking
also
mind
been-
flayers.
You survived.
Drowning
The
in
mind flayers
viscera
drowns in
juice.
the river.
It's the mummy juice. We swam in mummy juice.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, it's
Like
not
getting
so much
taken out
mummy
by-
juice as it was like
It's as close to the
aberrant
mummy juice as we can
amniotic
get.
fluid.
Ugh.
So
Oh,
I was
fuck,
about
it's
to say that,
LCL. We went
I
full
was about
Ava.
to say that's about on par with getting taken out by cuckoos in Legend of Zelda, but those things are terrible. I take that back.
They really are.
Also, we
Damn.
got some new
They will hunt you
cards,
down
so
and
that's always a good game when we get new Cards Against Humanity cards.
Yes,
we
I
did.
just typed another one because
Yes,
swimming in aberrant mummy juice is a fantastic card.
I love this group so much.
But yes, we also have a card that says sometimes family is a small mom, a tall mom, and blank.
Excellent.
Yes,
Mommy
good.
There you go.
A counterpart to that would probably be the was it unruly stabby children?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I mean,
Unruly stabby.
I could make a card that, like a white card that just says unruly stabby children.
Yeah, that's true.
That would make a good white card.
I like it. So,
I mean, and
for
then
those of you that I'm gonna see at MatsuriCon,
Mhm.
I have presents. And those of you I'm not gonna see at MatsuriCon, I also have presents, but they will take longer to get to you.
Let me know if anyone wants to like RPG book enamel pin, because I will pick some up tomorrow at the con.
Those are.
I do want.
Oh
one.
no, another
Yeah,
gay
I have
OC.
That's why I want it.
Yeah, I'll have to listen. Those are.
I
like
feel
those.
called out.
I've never seen, like, I don't know
That's
what
very good.
exactly
I'll
they
link to them
are.
in
It's just an
Discord.
enamel pin that opens up.
Yeah.
It's hinged.
Yeah.
It's so
It's
I
cute.
feel
like
called
RPG.
out.
All right,
I'm
gonna-
surprised nobody directly called Aiden out
For what?
for randomly getting intense.
They kind
Cortana
of
was
did.
confused
I mean,
about it, but
they didn't call him
Yeah.
out.
then he
but, like,
wandered away. So
Yeah,
I mean,
that's like
Leah kind of called him out, but I feel like Leah's just more
I mean,
like,
I think
a
Elias
little
assumed it
confused,
was
but
about
also a little like frustrated because she's like, "You are not allowed to be more pushy for finding my mom than I am because I don't think you care about my mom. You care about her sword, and that's not
Yeah.
cool." Like,
you're only in for my mom for her
calm
sword.
down. We'll find her. Like,
Maria just snarked about how he wasn't going to tell them.
I think that by this point, Velas is just so used to Aiden having his secrets that he's like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like most of the.
Yeah,
I mean, I was
It's a little-
debating directly asking them about like that type of metal, and then it just kind of came up. And it was like, okay, I
Okay.
guess because it's like, do I really want to let them know I have this anti-aberrant weapon or not?
Yeah.
And I mean, to be
Well, I
fair,
mean-
Elias is not the type to call one out,
Yeah.
you know, stuff like that.
Like there might be conversations afterwards, like when. I mean, we do have like a long rest coming up, but.
I feel like there's a
Really?
lot of different things that everyone has just noted down. Okay,
Yeah,
talk to Aiden
there's
about that later.
so many things.
Now is not the time, but
Yeah,
I have
it's a hard-
questions.
But like, no, sorry, we gotta run now.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm gonna stop the stream. Thank you so much
Yes.
for watching, everybody. You're great.
Yeah,
we have people watching. Yay!
Thanks for
You
hanging
watched
out,
our
Wizard.
insanity.
Yeah.
Off now. I'll see you on the flip side. I'll get up my.
I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice holder. I'm proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice holder. I'm proud to be in whatever sitch like singing playing D&D. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral disorder. You may call me obsessive, but I just border on being a collector and being a dragon that sits atop my treasure. That's so shiny. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral disorder, and my partners love me for it. I'm a natural 20 when it comes to being me. I'm a time traveler